2019, Indian School LC conducted the program. Indian School Muscat conducted the first virtual Avenir in the year 2020. Avenir 2021 was conducted virtually by Indian School Al-Wadi Al-Kabir. In 2022, the flagship school in Oman. Indian School Bosher is all set to fly the flag higher by conducting Avenir 2022 in hybrid mode. Our impeccable planning, devoted team, unmatched resources guarantee a memorable event. The 5-day event will be held from Thursday, October 13, 2022 to Tuesday, October 18, 2022. Prominent achievers, educators, and industry experts will address the audience. Universities and educational institutes from different corners of the globe will present themselves to the audience of Avenir 2022. The event is open to all educational boards, including CBSE, ICSE, GCSE, and IB. It will provide comprehensive career guidance to students to pursue their passions at national and international universities. Avenir 2022 guarantees a wealth of information and awareness on 21st century courses, scholarships, internships, and career placements. This event will assist students in discovering their ideal future career path. Let us gather together for this 5 days of excitement, effulgence, enlightenment, exploration, and exaltation. Let's join Avenir 2022 to discover you. And assist them in identifying their ideal future career path. It was conceptualized by the Board of Directors of Indian Schools in Sultanate of Oman. The first Avenir was organized at Indian School Al-Mabala in the year 2018. In 2019, Indian School El-Sib conducted the program. Indian School Muscat conducted the first virtual Avenir in the year 2020. Avenir 2021 was conducted virtually by Indian School Al-Wadi Al-Kabir. In 2022, the flagship school in Oman. Indian School Bosher is all set to fly the flag higher by conducting Avenir 2022 in hybrid mode. Our impeccable planning, devoted team, unmatched resources guarantee a memorable event. The 5-day event will be held from Thursday, October 13, 2022 to Tuesday, October 18, 2022. Prominent achievers, educators, and industry experts will address the audience. Universities and educational institutes from different corners of the globe will present themselves to the audience of Avenir 2022. The event is open to all educational boards, including CBSE, ICSE, GCSE, and IB. It will provide comprehensive career guidance to students to pursue their passions at national and international universities. Avenir 2022 guarantees a wealth of information and awareness on 21st century courses, scholarships, internships, and career placements. This event will assist students in discovering their ideal future career path. Let us gather together for this 5 days of excitement, effulgence, enlightenment, exploration, and exaltation. Let's join.
You don't get what you wish for. You get what you work for. Good morning, one and all. Let me take you all through the listing of what to expect in today's session. It is also the second day of the mega event Avenir 2022 #DiscoverYou. The welcome address will be followed by a brief introduction by the university spokesperson. The detailing of the course available and the process of admission will be news and fascinate us all. but it is engineering that changes the world.
What a fantastic quote to begin the session.
Good morning, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Avenir 2022 #DiscoverYou, a global career guidance program launched by Indian School Bowsher under the aegis of the Board of Directors of Indian Schools in Oman. On behalf of Indian School Bowsher, I, Nupur Bhatia,
And I, Belinda Mask,
the Sultanate of Oman. May the Almighty shower His choicest blessings on His Majesty, and may this nation experience peace and everlasting prosperity.
it gives me immense pleasure to welcome Mr. Ajayan Poyara, ex-member Board of Directors, Indian School Oman, President School Management Committee, Indian School Bowsher, other members of the School Management Committee of Indian School Bowsher, a cordial and courteous welcome to principals, vice principals, assistant vice principals, HODs, coordinators, supervisors, and the entire teaching fraternity. I am extremely delighted to welcome all the students who are attending this enriching session today, parents, invitees, and all our well-wishers. Thank you, one and all, for your benign presence here this morning.
We will start our today's session by calling upon the university spokesperson, and we are joyous to welcome Ms. RENU from the IDP group to enlighten us with the various courses and the procedures. All right, we'll invite Ms. Nandini from the IDP group to enlighten us with the courses and the procedures. Ma'am, please, dice is yours.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Avenir 2022. Me and my colleague RENU, my name is Nandini, my colleague RENU, we are from IDP Education in Oman. So I'm going to speak about IELTS, and my colleague RENU will take on the topic about student placement services in overseas. And if I may ask you all, can you tell me what IELTS stands for? We all know it's IELTS. Many call it IELTS. We know it's IELTS. But can you tell me what it stands for? International English Language Testing System. So we will go through why do we need to take the IELTS test, what is the IELTS test about, and what the future, let's say, holds for us if we take the English language proficiency test, okay? So we can have a question-answer session as well at the end of the session, but let's go through this first. Okay, so 9 reasons we can see why you can take and you need to take the IELTS test and with IDP. Any of you students, if I may ask, even teachers, have you taken the IELTS test? Anyone? Must have done well because students from the Indian school, CBSE curriculum or otherwise, they do very well in the IELTS test. So just a brief overview about IDP education. We've been here for more than 50 years, started way back in 1969 actually, and then right now in 2022, we have expanded. We actually started with the student placement section where we help advise, counsel students, place students in overseas countries. And then we've expanded, we included IELTS as well. And in Oman, for IDP, we started 10 years back in 2012. And this is the 10th year of IELTS with IDP, let's say. And let's say every year we are growing day by day. And this is how we will go ahead. So let's talk about IELTS now. What is IELTS? So as you all know, it is the International English Language Testing System. You all have said that already. And more than 11,000 organizations actually, they accept the IELTS results. Governments of Australia, Canada, New Zealand, UK, they use IELTS for migration purposes. And then employers, universities, professional registration bodies worldwide, also in the US, and everywhere in the world, they have started accepting the IELTS results. So as we can see, it's unit test that we have. So just to give you the key destinations that we have, it's Australia, Canada, the United Kingdom, United States, New Zealand. But even here in Oman, the IELTS test is required in many institutions, you know, whether it's for employment, even for higher studies, let's say even to go from a foundation course to the next level, many colleges, institutions, universities require the IELTS test as well. So like I had said, it's become very popular and it measures the skills, the English language skills of a student or a candidate to the best, I would say. So just facts and figures, we have over 3.7 million IELTS test takers. That's way back in 2019. It's increased more than that. More than 11,000 organizations accepting IELTS results. It's available in more than 140 countries. It's actually more than 160 countries now. And IELTS results are accepted by more than 3,400 institutions and programs in the US alone, let's say. So let's go on to the next slide where we will talk about why IELTS. Why should we take IELTS? Okay. Number one, it's the English proficiency test, okay? It's a high-stakes test, a very secure test, and a very recognized test. So if you take the IELTS, nobody is going to disregard the scores that you have. So when will you take the IELTS? If you want to study abroad, or you want to study in our domestic programs that we have. Like I just said, even in Oman, they require the IELTS test in most of the institutes and universities that we have. For your university applications overseas, you'll require the IELTS. Exchange programs that you may be involved with, you will require the IELTS. Migration purposes later on, when you finish your studies and you want to migrate to another country, they will require the IELTS, and also for professional registrations. You know, many medical bodies, nursing bodies, they will ask you for a certain IELTS band score. You get that, and you get into the profession of your choice, or career of your choice, let's say, okay? Let's go to the benefits of taking the IELTS test. We have two formats now, actually. We have the paper-based test, and we have the computer-delivered test. So for the paper-based test, the result turnaround time is 12 days, because we are in the Middle East. Globally, it is 13 days. But for the computer-based test, we get the results in 3 to 5 days. Sometimes it's available in 2 days as well. So what happens is, we have the computer-based test every day of the week. So 7 days, thrice a week. You can take it as per your requirement, morning, afternoon, evening, Sunday to Saturday. So it's available, and like I said, within 2 days, normally or generally, the results will be available, so okay. So the advantage here again, we have face-to-face speaking. So we don't do, it's not an online speaking, although it is there, but you have your choice, okay? So you have your choice of sitting face-to-face with an examiner, answering the questions that he or she is asking, taking the speaking test, and I believe that's a really nice experience. Most students who have taken the test come back with the feedback that the speaking test is the most enjoyable part of the test, all right? And you can score higher there as well. Like I said, on the computer, 7 days a week, 3 times a day, you have that. It is the world's most recognized test, obviously. And your proficiency level will never be questioned once you have the IELTS scores with you. So there's a lot of research which has gone into, holding the IELTS test, the questions that are there. This is just to ensure that it meets the needs of all the stakeholders. Like I said, it's a very high stakes test, so a lot of security, a lot of research has gone into it to make sure that the test that is offered to the students and the candidates is a very fair one, all right? So it's valid for 2 years, by the way, the IELTS results, which is great. So if you take the test today and your results are there, you don't have to take the test anymore for the next 2 years. So after 2 years, it expires, and then you can go ahead and take another one if need be. So these are just some of the bodies that recognize, governments. Here itself, we have the Ministry of Higher Education, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Labor, everyone going for recognizing the IELTS test. Universities, all universities here and world over, employers are beginning to recognize it more and more, and professional registrations, like I said. So at IDP, and let's say IELTS in general, there are 2 formats. One is the academic test, and one is the general test. Because you are students here, you will require the academic test, but at whichever point in your life or in your career you need to take the test, please ensure with the recognizing body who is asking you to test, the type of test that you need to take. There are some colleges and universities who ask you to take the general test as well here. So by and large, academic format is required by schools and colleges, but there may be certain universities asking for the general test. So you really need to check with the university that you want to apply to, which type of test is asked for by the organization, I should say. So there is IELTS academic and general, there's IELTS on the computer, there's IELTS for UKVI as well. So IELTS for UKVI is a requirement by the UK immigration body. So if you as students are planning to study in the UK, IELTS for UKVI is the test that you should book for. Just to let you know, everything is same as a standard IELTS test. You still do the academic listening, reading, writing, and speaking. However, you do it under more controlled conditions in terms of the UKVI test is held under CCTV. More photos are taken of yourself to make sure that you are the same person who has come in for the first part of the test, so on and so forth. So they say it is more secure, but having said that, the IELTS standard test is no less secure. So we make sure that security of the test is a priority. And the life skills test is something which you don't need to deal with right now. It's about people who are wanting to start businesses in the UK, and also it's like a spouse joining visa, a spouse who already has a UK visa. So the IELTS for life skills deals only with the speaking and the listening test. There's nothing to do with writing in that. But at this stage of your life, I don't think you need to deal with IELTS, the life skills, let's say. So let me talk a little bit about the computer-delivered IELTS. The USP here, it's available, like I said, thrice a day, 7 days a week. Result turnaround time. Delivery, speaking is face-to-face. Obviously, listening, reading, and writing, you're doing it on the computer. But the listening test, you are doing face-to-face with a live examiner, let's say. So how do you book your test? You go to our site, you fill in your details online, you upload a copy of your ID, a copy of your valid ID, pay online, and that's it. You don't have to come to the office, our office, to make any of the registrations or bookings. But we are always happy to help you if you want to come over, and we will guide you through the registration process as well. So a little bit about the format of the test, academic and general. This is the band score with 9 being the highest and 1 being the lowest. It's like a non-user. So you don't pass or fail an IELTS test, honestly. You just need to get the score that is required by the organization. So there is no pass or there is no fail. If you get a 5, it may not be okay for the university or course that you're going for, but it might be okay for someone else where the requirement is 5. So like I said, it's just a requirement. There's no pass or fail about that. So you have the listening test. We start with the listening test, which is for 30 minutes. Then we go on to the reading test, which is for 1 hour. And then the writing test, which is for another 1 hour. The speaking test is scheduled 7 days prior to the test day, on the test day, or 1 day after. It just takes 12 to 16 minutes for the speaking test to be covered. And like I said, it's one of the most, I think, exciting skills of the test to be taken. I don't think we need to talk much about the general test because mostly you'll be doing the academic test. So look through, practice. We have a lot of support materials which I will go through. When you take the course, but what you need to know more about is time management because that is really, really important. If you cannot manage your time, however much knowledge you may have, you will not be able to transfer it to the paper. So you will miss. So although you know a lot, you might be a band 8, but you'll still remain at a band 6. So the advice would be, or the suggestion would be, make sure you have the time to practice before you come for the test. Practice time management, go to our website, and then make sure that you are making use of the number of tools that we have to help support you in a successful IELTS test. I think this should be of importance to you. How do you plan and prepare for the IELTS test? So we have, this is new, and it's called IELTS by IDP app. You can download it on your phone. What is the advantage of the app? You can be at home, you can be in the library, you can be at your playground, but you remember that you need to book a test for IELTS. Just download the app on your phone. You can book and register it on your phone. You can prepare for the IELTS test with this app on the phone. So you're on the go. Let's say you're moving, you're in a bus going to school, you want to still prepare for your test. Just open the app. All tools are available there. The support material is there. So like I said, you don't have to be in a classroom, schoolroom, or at home to prepare for your IELTS test. And what happens after the test has been taken? Your results, it'll again come to your app. You just open the app, your results are available there. So it's a very useful tool which has been developed by IDP. It's the IELTS by IDP app. If you're interested in taking the IELTS, I would suggest download this to your phone, on your phone. I have already spoken about the computer-delivered test a lot. It still has the same, the listening, reading, and writing, which happens on the computer. Basically, it's the same format. So the questions may be different, but the type would be the same, whether you do it on paper, whether you do it on computer. So we get questions like, is it easier if you do it on the computer? Do we get more marks? Do we score more marks if we have it on paper? There's nothing like that. The difference between computer and paper is the skill set that you have. If you're good at typing, and most of you are very good on the computers these days, and then you take the test on the computer. But if you're more comfortable writing, using not pen, it's pencil really, using your pencil and eraser, go for the paper-based test. But just to let you know that the computer-based test is getting more and more popular day by day, especially because the younger generation, they're very adept at using the computer keyboard, and I think they find it fun in a way. And it actually takes, the test itself takes lesser time than the paper-based test because there are a lot of formalities that you can do away with when you're taking the test on the computer. how do we support you? How does IDP support you for your test? You need to prepare. You need to be ready. So once you book the test with us, you can avail the IELTS Masterclass. So it's a 90 minutes interactive session. We have face-to-face sessions. We also have webinars thrice a month. It's an interactive session. You can ask questions. You can get questions to your answers to your questions. And it has been, the feedback that we have received is that it's a very, very useful tool. It has helped candidates go one band higher. So if you were at a band 7, you took the test, you have prepared yourself, obviously, but you've also taken the master class. They say that they have managed to improve scores and it has gone up to 7.5 and also a band 8. So if you are attentive and you take the benefit of this test. So we go on to the next tool that's speaking. Or you can choose one skill, benefit from it, study, and make sure that you are doing well in the IELTS test. That is the ultimate aim of the test anyway, of taking the test. You need the score. You need to have a certain score, and then you get into the university of your choice, perhaps. So that's about the Macquarie Prep offer that we
Education
have.
has partnered with Macquarie University to provide you with free access to a comprehensive online preparation course called IELTS Master. IELTS Master is designed and developed at the Macquarie University IELTS Test Centre in Sydney, Australia. When you book a test at participating centres, you will receive a confirmation email. Inside that email, you will see a banner promoting access to the free preparation. Simply click that banner to start your free access to IELTS Master. You can choose one module: reading, writing, listening, or speaking. When choosing your one free module, think about which skill you need to practice the most. During your 30-day free access period, you can access your chosen module anytime, anywhere. You'll get access to up to 25 hours of online study time, 2 free practice tests in your chosen module, detailed feedback and model answers for all activities, and expert IELTS tips and study strategies. IELTS Master has helped tens of thousands of IELTS candidates around the world to prepare for the IELTS test. So what are you waiting for? Book your IELTS test to gain instant access.
So there you go. This is, like I said, a very good prep tool. If you are booking the test, this will go to you automatically to the email ID that you've provided while registering for the test. So we also have something called the IELTS Progress Check. It's an official online practice test. You know, you'll get personalized feedback from the official test markers. You'll get indicative band scores, but it comes with a price. It's there on the website. You can go ahead and book for this progress check as well. And there are lots of free IELTS practice test materials on our website. When you book, free access is given to all this. You can boost your scores with all our sample tests, practice tests that we have. You get familiar with the IELTS test format. You review your answers by comparing model answers. You test yourself, and you get used to the real test time conditions, of course. So make sure once you book, please avail of this, so you will benefit and do very, very well in the IELTS test that you are going to do. So like I said, book your test with IDP IELTS, avail of the materials that are available, get the benefit of the preparation guides that we have, and I'm sure you'll do very, very well in life, and you will go to the university of choice, you will join the career of your choice, and at the end, that is all what we are looking for: success in the academics, isn't it? Happiness in life. And I think taking the IELTS test will help you do that a lot. If you have any questions, I'd be very happy to take questions that you have. But right now, I'd like to introduce my colleague, RENU Bitling, who will talk to you about student services, student placement services that IDP offers. Thank you very much.
A very good morning to everybody. First and foremost, before I begin, thank you, Nandini, for sharing your insights about IELTS, which is so important for our young talent that's sitting here. A very warm welcome to, to the session, and thank you so much, Dr. Bhavesh, Ms. Ambika, and to your entire team for having us from IDP to be able to share a bit of insights that we hope that is helpful to your shining stars that are sitting just right in this room. So thank you very much, and I'll, without no further delay, I'll just take off with the slides. Just give me a second. I think there's a... Okay, great. I'll just be playing a slide, a presentation that would kind of give you an idea about why we are here for you, what help we can support you with, and how we could make a difference in the entire transition of you studying from moving on. We basically have a video that I'd like to play based on which we will take the presentation further. I'm so sorry, but the audio, I don't think so you all can hear. All right, no problem till the time we get that fixed. I'll just give you all an overview about why we are here and how we can help you. So IDP is, if you all have heard about IDP, and my colleague has just introduced you all to the world of IELTS. So we basically help students who are looking at studying overseas, just to understand what grade of children are we looking at here. Is it grade 11, grade 12? Or grade 10? Grade 9? And above. Okay, great. So it's the perfect time for you all to maybe start planning about studying, either back home in the country. Let's say maybe some of you all are planning to go back to India. Some of you all may be looking at studying in Oman, and maybe some others have bigger plans. Just want to understand before I take it further, anybody looking at studying outside Oman, outside India? Great, great. Any country that you all are looking at? You all haven't had breakfast, is it? USA, Germany, great. So we do have students here looking at, making up their careers in their academic field, outside Oman. So that's why I'm here, and I'm trying to give you the information that would perhaps help you all and give you all a bit of insights. We'll try to see if the video plays now. You can play it from the beginning. great. As we all see on the slide, if you have a dream, IDP could be your way. So moving on, because we are looking at perhaps future engineers. And I'm sure most of you would have an idea about the various disciplines that are available in today's world. You know, a few years back when I was very little, in my college years, we didn't have you know, too many disciplines. We just had perhaps engineering was like the biggest umbrella, and then we had civil, chemical, mechanical. I know we have gurus here from engineering, so I won't get into details. But yes, we had, you know, smaller segments. And today, oh my God, we have biomedical engineering, we have mechatronics, we have robotics, computer engineering, computer science, data sciences. It's a big gamut, right? Yeah, any future engineers? I'm assuming yes, because we're in an engineering session. Yes? No hands up? Great, great. So, you know, you have construction, you have mechanical, aeronautical, you know, so many disciplines, and you guys are really lucky because the kind of exposure that is available today, the kind of streams, you name it. And today we see hands coming up for Germany, we see hands coming up for Canada, we see hands coming up for Australia, Oman, India. You know, you have the entire world to look at. You have EU, we have people going to Georgia. So, you know, I mean, y'all, it's sky is the limit. Y'all, it's just about where y'all want to head to. Considering that IDP specializes in helping y'all being placed in the right university, I'm going to head the presentation in that direction, and I would leave the technicalities of the engineering specialization to the guru sitting here. So, typically for those who are looking at doing your engineering overseas, so IDP helps you to look at your study abroad in USA, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, UK, and Ireland. And we do have some universities having their campuses in Malaysia and Dubai, you know. So you have, this is the segment that we are able to cater to you for. Indian students from Indian schools are brilliant, because when we look at the mark sheets from grade 9, from grade 10, from grade 11, and comes the biggest year, grade 12, I find it very hard to get a mark sheet less than 90%. Everybody comes to me, ma'am, this is our predicted scores, 90. I mean, I don't know what the kids are doing. Are they just studying? Because to get that kind of marks in CBSE is very, very difficult, and we appreciate that. So a big round of applause to each one of you, you know. It's great work. And you know, IDP has been working with all the Indian schools since so many years. Over, I would say, 15 years, we've been working closely in Oman, I would say. And we only see the results benchmark going higher and higher. And the good news for you kind of students is getting into a university from the countries that I have mentioned will certainly not be a difficulty. And we do have options for students who perhaps end up getting 75% and 80%, because let me be very honest with you, 90% is great. You're academically inclined, 95% amazing. You are self-driven here, you still have the opportunity. And that's why, you know, we're just trying to bridge that gap, just in case you may feel that, oh, if I've got 85% or if I've got 75%, I can't get into engineering, or I can't get into certain related specialized disciplines. The good part is, whether it's USA, whether it's Australia, whether it's Canada, whether it's New Zealand, Ireland, the countries that I mentioned, you still have a chance to get into engineering subjects. So though I have mentioned the entry requirements starting from 70% to 85% and go on. So that's why that may surprise you, and that's the reason why I'm stressing out here. But does not mean that y'all don't aim above 90%, okay? I'm not here to do that. But what I'm trying to tell you is, stay focused. For those who are in your 9th and 10th, y'all have a long way to go. Make sure y'all sit down with your parents. Today y'all are here by yourself. But it's very important that you work with your parents as a team and along with us to support your entire transition. Studying abroad is not easy. okay? Once you go overseas, you have to do everything on your own. What's the first thing that you might want to do on your own? What would you do when you're hungry? Food, right? That's the most important thing. So you need to get your food on your own. You need to study on your own. Somebody might want to do your part-time work. You know, there's so much things that you would want to enjoy. Enjoy the clubs. Most important, there's something that you might want to enjoy as well. The hands that went up. Is mom, dad with you? The independence and the flexibility with responsibility, right? You will be on your own. You will be independent, but you will be responsible for whatever that you do. So remember that. So this slide is very important, and that's the reason I mentioned responsibility. Make sure that you continue working hard. You guys are very good. Your marks are brilliant. Year on year, I only see the benchmark going higher and higher. And I think I see some of very familiar faces from whom we interact very often when we get your predicted scores. So definitely you need to have good, strong grades. 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. Predicted scores are very important. The reason why I'm saying predicted scores is because we start admissions a year in advance. So while you have just got into your grade 12, that's where your cycle to study abroad begins. Okay? Definitely, like my colleague Nandini mentioned about the IELTS test, IELTS is a very important element of the entry requirement when you're studying abroad. If you're going for an engineering program, 6.5 overall with individual band, listening, reading, writing, speaking, 6 is achievable. And Indian students, it's a cakewalk, trust me. Because you guys are already, you know, in that flow of that academic settlement, and you'll have that pattern of understanding, writing skills. So with, of course, as Ms. Nandini mentioned, a little bit of preparation focus is required prior to the test, and getting an 8, 8.5, 9, trust me, is definitely possible and within your reach. And we have seen mark sheets, and that's the reason I'm saying this to you confidently, okay? So typically, yes, as we all are looking for engineering, you definitely have to have your math. You need to have your computers. I mean, if you're looking at physics, math and chemistry would be your main areas. You know, most students may not take biology at grade 12, but make sure if you're looking for engineering specializations, you take physics, chemistry, and mathematics. I mean, we have seen situations where students, when they take the science stream in your school, they do have these subjects, so you'll have that flexibility as well. So here, like I said, like in terms of studying overseas, these are some of the benefits of studying overseas. You make friends, isn't it? When you go abroad, you see people from the EU, you'll meet people from US, Canada, Australia, whichever part you go to. Let's say if you go to a US university, you will meet people from China, you'll meet people from Japan, UK, Canada, the entire world. It's a melting pot. And because there's so much of diversity, and also, mind you, universities also have a very strong focus to make sure that they give the right diversity in their university. They don't want to put you in a classroom of, where you have just one nationality students. That's not learning. Because yes, academic learning is there, but there is something known as cultural learning. Today we are becoming global citizens, right? Why do we study abroad? To have an international degree, to have a good job, to have a good salary, right? Is that right? Does that sound familiar? Because it's natural, because you are investing that kind of money. You are investing your life for the next 3 to 4 years. You need to reap the benefits. So you are looking at changing your personality. And honestly, we being in this industry, we've met students when they go from their grade 12, and we see them in the next 1 year when they come down, for their vacation, when their parents are still working here in Oman. It takes us so long to even understand, oh, is it the same child that went 1 year back? It makes us feel so proud, because they just come as a different product. Their personality changes. And I'm sure you all sitting here has either a friend or a family studying overseas, right? So you definitely would have seen the difference amongst them. So that kind of element that changes a person is something that you really can't match. And I think that's most important in this entire gamut of studying overseas. And definitely you have lifelong friends. You have friends from across the globe that you may not have had the chance to make otherwise. So it's a beautiful experience is what I would say. Yeah, so this is just to give you an overview of the various countries like I mentioned. So we, across Australia, UK, USA, Canada, New Zealand and Ireland, IDP is partnered with over 800 universities and education institutions. So right from, universities that have very stringent requirements for students who are looking, and I'm going to cover that in the coming slides, to universities that are far more flexible. We have a range of universities, and that is why I did reiterate some time back, saying that, yes, you definitely should keep aiming for a higher percentile. And however, the beauty of the degrees here are, students are not lost of an opportunity. Every student is gifted in every single way, and the universities really bring out the best in them. Yeah. So to just give you an overview about Australia, I'm not too sure if anybody, has anybody traveled to Australia or seen videos about Australia? Indian matches, I mean, y'all don't watch cricket matches played in Australia, yes? Great. So Australia has been attracting students from the last over 2 decades, I would say, and it's a beautiful, gorgeous country. It's huge, and there is a lot of scope in certain areas like Perth, in Adelaide, in Northern Territory, and of course Sydney, Melbourne, where engineering students end up getting, very good positions. They have various, especially if you look at, for those looking at mining, for those looking at mechanical, Western Australia is a very, very important state that you could consider. And typically, universities in Australia, there are about 43 universities, and very strong universities. There are about 8 of them which are heavily research oriented. Moreover, the beauty about Australia is the culture. It's a melting pot of various cultures. Students who go to study can work. Most of the students want to work part-time, and it really kind of helps you develop your personality. And that's when I said become independent and become responsible. So these are the little elements put together when you kind of look at studying abroad. So just an overview for you about Australia on the slide, and also gives you the range of the tuition fees mentioned here. Of course, this is something that you might want to discuss with your parents as well. Canada. Canada has become very, very popular in the last, I would say, 10 years. It has opened up its doors to migration. I'm sure most of you here would have heard about people traveling for migration, work and studies. So recently our batch of for Canada students were over 50 students who went just for the September 2022 intake. So year on year we are seeing growth for Canadian education. There are some very good universities. In fact, just last evening, to just share a coincidence, that we had about 7 universities in our office meeting students from one of the schools that are here, I'm sure. So we have regular university visits coming through as well. The beauty about Canada education is the co-op. Have you all heard about the co-op? Anybody heard about the co-op? Okay, not a problem. So the reason why Canada has really become popular is they have a 4-year degree which has the academic concentration, and 1 year is spread across, it adds on 1 year which allows you to work, and they actually, it's a part of your entire degree, and that's the beauty. So students who take a co-op which makes the degree 5 years, so they have 2 semesters academic, then 1 semester they'll work, and it's usually paid. And in most cases, the good news is students get absorbed. Okay, so that's, see, for a child who's 18 to 20 years old, what more a bigger reward that can that be? Studying overseas, having an international education, getting a job. That's what they're there for, right? And honestly, the way Indian students really work hard, um, it says a lot. There's a lot of difference you can make out, because the culture that we instill in our kids, the responsiveness that we have, they really groom up very, very well. And like we have put down some of the universities on the slide as well. For those who may be familiar of some of the universities, for example, Waterloo has got the #1 computer engineering program in Canada. So for those who are looking for computer engineering, want to become gurus in this area, Waterloo could be one of your choices. UK, United Kingdom, has always been a traditional destination choice for many of Indian students from across hundreds of years. They also involve and they also offer a sandwich program, the last point that you can see. Again, a similar program. The beauty of UK programs are 3 years. So they're accelerated 3-year engineering programs. Some of them will move on to 4 if you are studying in Scotland, that's the northern part of UK, and they also incorporate an industrial year. And the beauty of UK degrees is that you can combine it with 1-year masters and actually get, in 4 years, you can get a bachelor's and a master's. Your bachelor's will actually be an honors. So the UK degrees are very intensive. That is something that you all need to remember, because your study breaks get smaller. So that's the difference between UK and Canada, just for you all to demark that differentiation. And of course, you have the Russell Group of universities. There are about 21 Russell Group universities that offer very strong engineering programs, like, for example, University of Nottingham, University of Birmingham, King's College London, so on. So we are partnered with about 110 UK universities, which we definitely can offer services for and place you in those universities. United States, the biggest attraction over the years. I think it has attracted the highest number of Indian students over the years, not only from India and from across the world. We've had very strong alumni pass out from US universities, because traditionally it has been leading the international education arena. So definitely, as we see, it is the #1 country recruiting international students. The beauty of US universities is the breadth and the depth. So the kind of exposure that you would get, the kind of real exposure, the real time, that makes US, a distinct factor to study abroad. And you do have a lot of options. You have community colleges, you have universities, and you have 4,000 universities. US talks about 4,000 universities, so it's a big pool. And also, they are most of the undergraduate students also are looking at scholarships. So US is a bit more liberal when it looks at scholarships for undergraduate studies. New Zealand, a beautiful place yet to be explored. So New Zealand is in that stage, where 15 years back Canada was. So if you really want to look at settling in, looking at it from a longer perspective, New Zealand could be your answer. Even the affordability is an element that you might want to consider. So there are only about 8 universities in New Zealand. It's a small country, you see. So you don't have the hassle of filtering from 4,000 universities for that. You just have 8 universities. You have University of Auckland, you have Otago, Waikato, Massey. Especially Massey is very, very good for engineering. So just wanted to highlight what could be of interest to you. And cynically, it's one of the most beautiful, and it's the most safest countries, is what I would say. Ireland, another destination for those who are looking for computer engineering. A strong recommendation for you to look at Ireland, at least at this stage when you all are, looking at the options with your parents. Do consider, Ireland as an option, because Ireland is like the headquarters of all the IT companies, And it's for EU basically. So they really kind of, it's the most attractive hub currently, and there are a lot of plans to kind of capitalize the city Dublin to attract more and more computer software and hardware specialists. So a strong recommendation, because you have University of College Dublin, University of Cork, Ireland, which are very strong, and Trinity College as well, which is very strong in the area of engineering and specializations. So typically, I won't go too much detail into the slide, but you definitely, because I'm assuming that if you all are looking at studying, it would be only after your grade 12. So it would be a bachelor's program. So all countries, Bachelors of Engineering would be offered for 4 years, except for UK, where you have a 3-year degree. And you can move it into a 4-year program with your master's qualification as well. Very important is the deadlines. You still have a long time to go, but just to give you an overview and to make it easy for you to understand, all the countries have just one start here, except for Australia and New Zealand, which start the program twice a year, which is February and July. So it's the same program that starts twice a year. The rest of the 4 destinations, they just start once a year, which is in September, and that's the reason you don't want to miss the bus. And that's the reason you're here today, to kind of understand the, to get the understanding and to understand the deadlines. This slide is very, very important. So, this is something that you all might want to note. You need to start preparing a year in advance. These are some of the universities that you might be familiar with, or you may have seen at some point in time. You may have met them at some of the events, etc. So we've just kind of listed some of them here. We can't have all the 800 listed on a slide. We also have affordable options in Dubai, Malaysia. They offer the same degree. So let's say, for example, if you're looking at studying in Australia, and for some reason, it may not, suit you. So you can still get the same degree in Dubai, okay, with University of Wollongong, Dubai. And similarly, if you want to look at UK, you could look at, going to Heriot-Watt or Middlesex University in Dubai, or in Malaysia. The cost of living really brings it down. So let's say, for example, a program in Monash, Australia would be, let's say, 10,000 Omani Riyal, whereas when you go to Malaysia, it would be around 4,000 Omani Riyal. So there is a huge element that you might want to consider if it is suitable with you. So this is another important slide that you all might, this may interest all your parents, of course. So this is something you all might want to keep and, have a look at with your parents. Because definitely investment would be there, but you will definitely reap the benefits of it. I'm just keeping the slide because I see some people taking pictures, and so this is just a ballpark figure, and this is a rough estimate to give you an idea of how and where it can go. Scholarships, the most interesting slide, I'm sure. So scholarships is something that every child wants, and we also believe that every child should get a scholarship. But universities are there to provide education. They do recognize high talent, but the scholarships are rolled out not department-wise, but they're rolled out on a broader scale. So when international students apply, their applications are automatically considered for scholarships. And whenever there could be a, international merit scholarship that is offered to a student, to a well-deserving child, if there's a faculty scholarship also, it is at times offered. I did have a student from one of the Indian schools who, it was a very rare scholarship, and they actually got it from Waterloo. It was a very rare scholarship. The child had about 97%, and that is how the child got it for computer science. So yeah, it is not something that we see it very common, but we at IDP do try wherever possible to kind of let scholarships flow into the offer letters. Okay? So just to give you, my colleague has already gone through the history of IDP, so I won't be going too much in detail. And we talk about the services. So just to give you an overview why we are here to guide you. We are here to work with you as a team, with you and your parents. Because studying abroad is a lot of thought, a lot of hard work, a lot of money. And more important than that, it's your life. It's 3 to 4 years of your golden years that opens your entire life after that, right? Your entire career is dependent. So you really can't go wrong. And for that, there's a lot of work, a lot of coordination that goes in with yourselves, your parents, and us at IDP. And like my colleague said, IELTS is something that you'll require. The rest entire part of understanding your requirements, understanding your preferences, understanding why you want to study abroad, what are your strengths, what is it that we need to work on, where do you think that we will fit in best, whether you want to get into a big university or a medium size or a smaller university. We need to gauge all that together. We apply on your behalf. We contact the university, have big education events where students can come in, have a word with universities, apply, get your offer letters, and very important, before going, what do you have to do when you travel overseas? The kids wanting to study abroad, what is it that you need? Something that starts with V. Visa, great, which is very important. Visa, because that compiles your academics, your IELTS score, your personal statement, which is the backbone of your visa application. That is something that we help you through. We guide you how to make it. We'll help you tweak your entire personal statement. We compile your entire visa application, submit it for you. And once you get your visa, it's time that you open a new page of your life where we have the pre-departure sessions for you, again to guide you. So the entire gamut of services that we offer is free of cost. Yes, it is free of cost. We don't charge for any of our services that we offer. And IDP is a global network. It's, like my colleague mentioned, we've just completed over 50 years, and we are just expanding. We have about a presence in 35 odd countries, and we have over 135 offices across the network. So this is something that we do in a snapshot, listed across. And we also have the virtual office. So for you and for your parents, if you all cannot really come in person, we are of course, our office is in Madinat Kapus, but if you all cannot come, we have a virtual office which is available from 9 to 5, all working days. So we also have the app. So what does the app actually do for you? This is something that I've covered. So app basically helps you download information that we have access to, right? So, we have access to information about programs, entry requirements, deadlines. When you download the free app, the IDP free app, you get the entire information on your mobile phone, okay? And most important, you can actually apply for a university offer where you get the offer within an hour. So we are in that transition period where we are able to facilitate that service for you as well. Apart from that, when you travel overseas, you need to have your insurance, accommodation, guardianship arrangements, being able to open your bank account. You'll have your own debit card, right? Once you go there, so you need to shop, you need to take care of your expenses. So that is something we facilitate as well. We do help you and guide you through these additional services. So that's the app that we talk about. You can download it for free. It's available on all kinds of mobiles. And like I said, you can also apply for an offer letter. Something that might be interesting for you, I know today most of you are here, but your parents are not with you. We do have study abroad information sessions every Wednesday, 4 to 5. And these are our contact details. So you can always connect with us, email us, get in touch with us if you'd be interested to attend to any one of these sessions. These are all free. We have them being delivered virtually. We have them delivered physically in face-to-face sessions as well. So I think we have come down to the last slide, and I've ended my talk. And I really hope that it has helped you all in as much as possible, because that was the reason why we just wanted to share a few insights. I wish each one of you all the very best, and I'm sure you just have success next door. Thank you so much.
Ms. RENU for the informative session, and we are sure that the process of exploring and inquiring has begun in the minds of students and their parents. Now let's watch a small video about the IDP group. Dear children, if you have any questions, the mic is open for you. You can ask your doubts. Does anyone has any questions? You can raise your hand, please. All right, look like my kids are pretty knowledgeable, and thank you so much, ma'am. Before we start the next session, I would request all my audience to please get up, stretch yourself for a few minutes, and then we can sit again back to our places. So can we please all stand up? Yes, you can stretch yourself because you've been sitting for a very long. So can I ask all of you to please jump? Jump in your places. And you can walk as well. All right, thank you so much, and please be seated again.
Okay, students, I would request you to please take your seats.
We request the speakers and the SMC members to kindly come on stage. Ms. Renu for the
Okay. I would request the SMC members and Ms. Renu and Ms. Nandini to please go up on the stage.
Can I request all the SMC members and the board of
They
directors?
are using washroom, so let them settle down. Then we will call them.
Students, it's a request to please settle down so we can begin with the next session. The teachers in charge for discipline, please see to that the students are seated in their place. Students, please, I would request you to get into your seats.
station. We will do it in the
Students, please settle down for the next session so we don't waste time. Discipline in charge, please see to that the students are seated in their place.
Dear students, please be seated. Please settle down fast.
It is with sheer joy and great pride that I take the task of introducing our speaker today, Mr. Damodar Ramachandra KATTI, Managing Director, Design Group Engineering Consultant, India and Oman. Sir is the founding member of Oman Professional Engineers Network under OSE. Sir has started his own firm in Muscat with 2 employees and then branched out to Bangalore, Chennai, and Uganda, employing around 120 plus engineers and other professionals. Dear audience, please join us in welcoming our speaker by giving a big round of applause.
Shall we? So, yeah, good morning to all of you, distinguished guests, parents, and dear students. So, it's an honor for me to be part of this particular Discover webinar, basically being hosted by Indian School Borshow, and kudos to all the people who have organized this particular thing. This only actually signifies how they want to take the career of the students coming out of this particular school going forward, so that they achieve the milestones what they basically define in their own life. So I have been given an assignment today to talk to all of you about a contemporary in terms of this particular era as far as engineering is concerned. So I got few slides to basically explain to you all, saying that what exactly you need to look at. It's just not about study, it's just more than the study what you need to look at in this current scenario as far as engineering is concerned. So there are a few slides, as I said. So going further, just to define, just to actually create a benchmark, what is contemporary is the present duration or the present time for which we are all working for. So contemporary is nothing but you need to actually think for the present and the future. That's how we all look at, right? So what is more important? Now we talk about engineering. Today's subject has been engineering. We had a wonderful session from IDP where they explained where to go, where not to go, how much it's going to, you need to basically study, or how much of effort you need to put in, and so on and so forth, right? So, but then engineering, the era in which we learned engineering to what you guys are going to be going ahead and learning onto is completely a changed word of assignment, what you need to look at. Now, you need to actually be aware of not the past of it. Yes, past is important to understand how you need to do the fundamentals and so on and so forth. But then the recent developments and how you're going to enhance the recent development is what you people or you students basically have in hand to actually kind of take it forward. So that's where the interests need to come in as far as the students of this era is concerned. So it's not the present, it's the future, what you need to actually look at. How do you enhance yourself? So what happens? I mean, the teachers are there to educate you. Education is important, but nowadays in this particular era, education is, the knowledge is available. You guys are in the internet era, the knowledge is available in abundant everywhere. What you need to learn is the skill sets. The skill to utilize those developments or those knowledge which are available is important for you all to enhance yourself. So the teachers are there, the private professionals are there who can basically, give you that knowledge, but learning the skill sets is something which is basically a self. So that's something which you all need to take it forward. Enhance your skill sets, knowledge basically is part and parcel of it. So this is something which you guys have to look at. Again, as I said, it's not the current scenario, you need to look at the future. That's where your future basically lies. That's where you need to think, that's where you need to enhance your skill sets, okay? Now, going further, we are basically looking at various eras, various subjects of utilization, what we are doing as of now. It is basically given for granted as far as we are concerned. We get good water, we get food, we get basically technologies available for us. We utilize all of that, so those are the past. So how you basically improve over and above is what is the engineering aspects of it actually comes into the picture. So the last century has seen absolutely great achievements, what we have done as engineers, the budding engineers, the present, the past. We have learned from the past, we've improved the engineering aspect of it for the current scenarios. And then there are lessons which are being taught to see this particular, the current engineering, how it can be enhanced to again make it great as we go along for the next 10 odd years, right? So this is important to be understood before you all decide what an engineering is or which field of engineering I need to get in and so on. Now, as I said, technology is available in abundant. We rely on a lot of things. We take it for granted, so everything is available for us, right? But then this everything available for us is something which is limited. So unless and until we improvise on these in terms of an engineering aspect of it, we are basically seeing a slow death happening in another century of the existence. So it's important that we all see the challenges and the opportunities available, wherein the current engineering aspect of it is basically taken to the next level of engineering, wherein you optimize the usage of all the utilities, all the resources which are available within the planet Earth. So the aspect of it, I mean, you need to ask yourself, why am I supposed to become an engineer? Okay. So there are a lot of other fields available, but you need to understand why, okay, I want to become an engineer, for what reason? Okay, so there has to be an aim against it. I want to be an electrical engineer, but it has to be a definition for that. If you want to be a civil engineer, you need to know what exactly you're going to do as far as civil engineering is concerned, or a mechanical, or an aeronautical engineer. So, but you need to define what you need to do. So, first of all, you need to understand engineers are the problem solvers. Okay, you give them any problem, they come up with one or the other logical way of resolving it, not just resolving it, logical way of resolving it. So you need to think it from that perspective. Okay. Then comes in to usage of available technologies, creativity, academic skills, problem-solving abilities. Those are the things which you need to. These are the skills which you need to enhance yourself. Math, science, and computers, physics, chemistry, it's all being taught. The fundamentals are basically taught to you in the colleges, in the schools. But then, how do you use all of those to solve your problems? We all say, oh, I learned algebra, I learned trigonometry during my school days. Am I using that on a day-to-day basis? No, I'm not. But then the fundamentals of that are basically utilized for some other things when you are basically resolving problems. Okay? It's not exactly every day I use trigonometry, every day I use algebra, no. But you need to know the fundamentals. You need to understand those fundamentals. Then and then only the problem solving becomes much more easier and convenient. So what it is, tasks are different engineering tasks, different segments of engineering, but then the problem solving ability for each of those segments they all come from the fundamentals, what we actually learned during our school days or the college days. So you need to basically concentrate on the fundamentals. Unless and until that is basically enhanced, problem solving becomes difficult. If you are not able to solve the problem solving, becoming an engineer and calling yourself an engineer is something which you need to rethink, recalculate yourself. Right? So these are the important elements of it before we actually get on to what level of engineering or what segment of engineering you need to get in. What we also see basically is, in terms of, when we were kids, what we wanted after being an engineer, what? Job satisfaction, join a government organization and then be satisfied about it, and then do a morning 8 to 6 classes. Okay, an engineer doesn't just concentrate on this, and there are a lot of engineers here, there are a lot of friends of mine who are actually sitting here. I see them day in, day out solving problems and so on and so forth. Career opportunities, challenging work, which you need to basically take that into account. Every day is a challenge, every day is a learning. Intellectual development, every day when you are learning, the intellectual development is part of your, part and parcel of your day-to-day activities. And then it's not just you benefit yourself, you also benefit the society because of your problem-solving abilities. So these are the aspects of it when you look at why you want to become an engineer. Okay. Moving further, there is a process. You actually look at how the process of an engineering basically goes in. Right? So I'll just put this in, and then we will actually see what it is. So you primarily identify a problem, you analyze a problem. So solutions are abundant, but then identifying the problem is important. Once you know what is your problem, then solution automatically comes in. There's a lot of knowledge available, as I said. This is an internet era. You actually get information. You don't have to solve problems. You put it in the internet, it solves it for you, and then use it to you. But then what kind of solution you need to bring on the table, for that, identifying that problem is important. So you need to first identify the problem, then you resolve it, then you implement the solution of it. So this is the engineering process which actually works in, right? So now, we talked about the complexities involved, we talked about what an engineer need to do, or to become an engineer, what you need to have as part of your skill set. The problem-solving ability is the most important thing of it. But then, when you actually look at it, what are the two basic things? The two basic things is education, first of all. So what you learn from 9th standards, from 8 to 9, 10th is where you actually define your goal, first of all. And then you get into the 12th standard, 11th and 12th. That's where you basically enhance your skill set. And after the 12th, like what the earlier presentation, basically the IDP did, you have your achievements which you need to actually look at. But when you're actually doing your courses, what kind of subjects you need to concentrate if you want to basically get into the engineering of it? We actually learned a bit of it in the earlier session, but then yes, physics, chemistry, the computer classes, the graphics, there are certain schools basically which actually give those as one of a subject itself in terms of engineering graphics. Okay, so that's something which you need to learn. There are students who came to our office who were in 11th standard and 12th standard to do an intern in terms of learning the graphical way of doing the things, okay? So, that's something which you need to enhance yourself. And then at the end of it, maths. So you need to grill yourself. Maths is something which is absolutely fundamentals, which you need to actually take it into account. Now, these are basics, these are fundamentals which you need to enhance yourself with. But then what happens is there are certain aspects of it, I don't know whether it's visible to all of you, but then other than the technical know-how, there are studies which have been done. The studies basically define, unless and until you have a good communication skills, you are basically reaching nowhere. Okay, I may be a genius in terms of problem solving, but then if I don't convey the problem solving ability to others and then share that particular knowledge in a communicative manner, that's the end of it. You actually just be there at one corner. So ability to pass on the information, ability to do a better presentation, ability to communicate with each other is something which you all need to learn from this age. This is the age where you actually learn all of that. Do your group classes, do your Toastmaster stuff, arrange seminars within yourself, take a subject, give presentations to your own class students basically. These are something which you need to adapt at this particular stage. Okay, so there's something which I wanted to pass on to all of you. When we do interviews of engineers, the freshers, when we actually intake, we don't look at their technicality at all. We just look at their communication ability. Whether he can write a letter, whether he can basically speak properly, whether he knows how to address people properly, whether he can be a team, a team person basically within that particular thing is what we actually look at. Technical we teach. Technical, again, it comes. The knowledge is available in the internet era, right? So this is something which I would want to insist all students, please concentrate on this particular communication ability so that you basically become a better student as we go along. So this is again a market research which was done. If you actually see this particular circle of it, the core, this applies for all discipline, either it be commerce, arts, engineering, science, you take any of it. The core, the central core is all about communication. The rest of the things basically revolve around that. Okay, so that's something, you please grill that into your curriculum so that, the communication becomes much easier for all of you. Now, having said enough on how to become an engineer, what skill set you need to enhance and so on and so forth. So the other thing which I wanted to communicate was, we talked about various things earlier. The IDP told about which are the engineering disciplines available, which country you can travel, where all and whatnot, and so on and so forth. But then, those are sublets, okay? So there are broad lines which you need to look at in terms of the current contemporary era. Now, what are those contemporary era fields which you need to concentrate upon with? So if you actually see advanced personalized learning, this actually applies to the schooling. We actually talk about STEM education nowadays. India is changing the educational portfolio, the way the education is done, abolishing, the kids basically get into too much of pressure in terms of exams, marks. We all talk about it as parents. We also basically insist for better marks and so on and so forth. But then that's changing now, everything is changing. As long as you basically enhance your skill sets, knowledge, as I said, is available. So the STEM educations and so on and so forth, the colleges, the schools basically teach you all of that. That is something which is going to be the future. You guys need to look at whoever is interested. There's a lot of engineering aspect involved in that. So that's the reason this particular field is another important field. but it has got its own subdivisions, so which you need to actually look at. We actually talk about solar energy, we talk about net zero being achieved, we talk about global emissions, we talk about so many nomenclatures basically which are available. So one part of that is solar. How do you generate or how do you utilize the UVs or solar basically available abundantly so that you enhance the energy out of it. So that's something which you need to look at. Solar engineers are sought out nowadays. It's not just about putting up a solar panel on top of your house, but then how do you store that particular energy and then utilize it in future is what is more important, what kind of batteries and so on. There's a lot of engineering aspect involved in that. The solar engineering is another thing which you need to actually look at. We have AIs, we all talk about AIs, we talk about computer science, AIs and so on and so forth. So now AIs is not limited to just for computer science or instrumentation. AI basically works along all discipline of engineering, either it be mechanical, either it be electrical, either it be civil engineering. Being a civil engineer, we use AI in a lot of our construction activities. So AI is something which you need to look at. Data science basically applies to all of this particular field. My colleague here will actually speak about it as we in the next session, but then AI and data science is something which is absolutely out there, which you need to actually look at as a career itself. Reverse engineering, we talk about destructive mechanism, we talk about destructive engineering aspects of it itself. Reverse engineering, old buildings are getting reinvented and make it afresh. There are mechanical components which are basically reversed in a way that you have energy utilization at a much lesser aspect of it. So there are a lot of reverse engineering engineers are one of a subject which is there in the market right now, which you need to look at. Okay. We talk about medicines. Earlier, IDP did mention about biomedical engineering and so on and so forth. When you actually design a hospital, it's not about architects or engineers, basically. The biomedical engineers are the key when it actually comes to developing a hospital itself, right? So biomedical engineers are, again, with COVID, enhancing that particular field, a much larger aspect, much larger extent of it. So you need to actually look at how do you get on with the medical or a biomedical engineering of it. So that's, again, a larger field which could be looked at. Not necessarily you have to be a doctor to actually be a biomedical related aspect of it. An engineer understanding the flow of activities within a medical aspect can be a biomedical engineer of. We talk about health informatics, robotics, health informatics, data, again, data science, data gathering helps us in terms of treating a patient in a much better fashion. So again, the engineering is involved in that. So that's, again, a field which can be concentrated upon with. These are some of the future prospects, what I'm trying to explain to you. Improved urban infrastructure. We talk about, we do flooring, we do basically asphalting on the roads. So asphalting, basically, when you do it, it absorbs the water. So we actually talk about infrastructure development from that particular aspect of it. So there are a lot of enhancements which are actually going on in terms of engineering. So that's one of that which anybody interested on a civil engineering part of it, that's something which you could actually take up. Cyberspace, secure cyberspace, my colleague, again, will actually speak about it as we go to the next session of it. Cybersecurity, cyberspace, again, related with aeronautics again. And then you actually talk about cybersecurity itself is a huge segment of engineering which somebody could look at. Most sought out engineering discipline at this particular stage is cybersecurity as such. And then at the end, we actually talk about providing clean water. We are exhausting our utilization of water, either it be the groundwater, either it be the lakes or ponds or rivers. We are actually talking about utilizing seawater into drinkable water. And then there are enhancing the moisture itself content in the air, which can be converted into a drinkable water. So there are a lot of that engineering actually goes in. So the clean water providing, it again relates to mechanical, and then mechanical engineering, and the sub-discipline of that again goes into this part of engineering which could be thought of. energy. Again, this is either it be nuclear-oriented energy, there are a lot of energy fusion which we actually take into account. Another bright segment which you could actually look at as far as the engineering is concerned. Nuclear terror, and we know how Russia is threatening the world right now. So how do you avoid nuclear terror is again an engineering aspect again. So there are a lot of those disciplines which are there. Waterloo is one of them, which they actually mentioned, which actually provides an engineering as far as nuclear is concerned in terms of avoiding how nuclear can be minimized in terms of terror attacks and so on. We have nitrogen cycles. You know, nitrogen cycles are basically helps in terms of farming, fertilization, and so on and so forth. So again, a clean energy which can be utilized. Again, there are engineering aspects of it. Carbon, you know, we basically nowadays carbon, again, you know, global gas, green gas, and energy efficient technologies which are available in the market. Sustainable engineers are basically the most sought out engineering at this particular stage. How do you basically store your carbon within the planet and then reutilize that? You know, that's something which is basically being implemented in Oman as well, in other parts of the world, India quite largely nowadays. So that's is something which you could actually, you know, concentrate upon with. And at the end of the day, the tools of scientific discovery. So we are talking about traveling to Moon, Mars, and so on and so forth. So the aerospace and astronomical related engineering aspect of it is something which you should basically look at. That's going to be a future as such. So these are some of the broad line contemporary engineering aspect of it which each one of you should look at. And how to achieve that is what I have told you earlier in terms of first is a fundamental, second is your ability in terms of enhancing your skill sets. If you combine these two, nobody is going to stop you in terms of being a successful engineer as you go along. So that's what I wanted to present to you today. If you have any questions, I would be very happy to take up. Anybody? Okay, so that's, thank you so much. Yep, sure.
Hello. So if you don't have any question, I'll ask question on your behalf. So sir, one question on behalf of students. Like we have seen many students, they think about engineering, they pursue their engineering, and maybe after going to the field of engineering, again they want to change their profession. Yeah. And they do engineering and they start engineering profession and they end up doing something and again they want to do something. This is the confusion most of the students they have. So why this is thing, and what would you suggest to our children?
It's a very difficult question to answer, I presume, basically, right? It all depends on the interest in which we are basically trying to pursue engineering, right? So I did my civil engineering, and then because there was an IT boom, I wanted to get into IT. And then we could not succeed to get into the IT. And then coming back to the civil engineering, I don't regret doing that. But then, you know, it's all about the interest which the students or the kids would basically have in, right? So if you actually spend 4 years of your engineering studying the fundamentals of engineering, and then you want to change all of a sudden to a different field, that's a very drastic change which I would basically look at. So I would not kind of, you know, encourage kids to do that or the engineers to think about in that sense, unless it is enforced upon with, unless there are circumstances because of which basically they actually go to different fields. But otherwise, you know, nowadays because when we did, we had only 3 evergreen disciplines, the mechanical, electrical, and civil. So we didn't have much of the choice. But the kids now have got so much of choice to actually look at. So even if you do basics and then want to enhance yourself, go into the same field of it, but then get into various sub-discipline of it is something which I would advise to the kids, rather than changing the field completely in a way. So yeah, that's all of it.
Mr. Damodar, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Great session. One question, otherwise I think it would be going in a very different way.
Please.
When you're talking about Indian School Bausha,
Yes,
it's you who have created the design. I think very few would know that.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Thank you.
Now, when we say that it's a 21st century school, certainly you have played the brain behind it. So I think on a good note, you should say that what the school has and what are the different aspects and elements which was considered, to build this school. Thank you.
All right, okay. It's been some time now. Thank you for that. This school was actually designed by our office. It was a competition. It was a design competition which the Indian schools basically had organized, and then we could basically win that. And primarily that was like 6 years back, 7 years back, I presume. So during those days, we basically did a design competition where we implemented sustainable design as far as this school is actually concerned. So that was one of the primary factor which basically kind of segregated us from the rest of the competitors. Okay, so that was one of the winning proposition which we basically had made about it. The lot of enhancement which we had actually suggested, but then, the way it actually went on, there are certain board members here basically who were part of it. But then, see, the overall intent of this particular school was within and inward and outward. That is how we basically designed this particular school, so that once you are in, you will actually feel that the ground is basically nearby, the entrances are basically there, the schools are basically segregated, the science and the laboratories are basically coded at the central, and then the classrooms are basically segregated in 2 different wings. So once you actually do that, you have a shading automatically coming out of the central part of it. So that's why the C shape was basically taken into account. There are certain shading elements which we have taken into, which actually gives you a lot of flexibility as far as the energy saving is concerned, number 2. Number 3, in most of the schools out here, we actually see there won't be much fresh air basically in each of the classrooms. Okay, so you actually get a dampness, and then that basically reduces your efficiency as far as the learning is concerned. So we actually took that as one of an aspect of it, so wherein the fresh air was made available. There are aspects where you basically have school with 20 students, but then all of a sudden it's empty, but still the air conditioning is basically going on out there. So we actually kind of restricted that so that as soon as the school is empty, or as soon as the school basically takes away that particular classroom, the number of students are basically reduced, that much of energy is basically enhanced or less consumed. So there are a lot of aspects of it that actually gone in, including the operational part of it was taken into account in terms of where the principals need to sit or where the admin staff need to come in, and then how they enter, how they go out, and so on and so forth. Yeah, I mean, those were some of the things which I remember right now, which were actually implemented as part of the school, yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Damodar, for indeed making ISB as one of the best schools in the town.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, students, and all the very best. Thank you. Yeah.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I'm Dr. Vinod from healthcare industry,
yes,
SMC member. We could see a lot of branches in engineering, but engineering plus healthcare is very interesting collaboration.
It is.
So what are your views on healthcare engineering? So we can see a lot of biomedical engineering, maintenance engineering, even no building could made without the engineer, So engineering is everywhere. So now in healthcare, engineering is also playing a vital role. So what are your views on healthcare engineering?
Well, I see, being a civil engineer, in my own era, I used to do structural engineering. Nowadays, I'm more of a sales guy than anything else. So, but having said that, in hospital, when you actually look at it, so what are the engineering element involved in a hospital? Something which I can basically address that as a subject. So you actually look at starting from biomedical engineer. That's where it all starts. A biomedical engineer primarily defines the flow of activities. When I say flow of activities, it means right from how the ambulance basically enters into the premises to how an emergency is being dealt, how the biomedical waste is basically taken out of the hospital, not into a general area, but a dedicated area, to where the operation rooms need to be there, where the consulting needs to happen, where the nurse need to sit, or where the public need to be addressed, all that is basically defined by biomedical engineer. So he is the first element of it. When an hospital being planned, the biomedical engineer is the first foray basically whom we actually look at. So once you have him doing his bit of it, then the architects basically take over from there on. Okay, so then the architect basically starts beautifying the flow of activities. So once architect basically does the beautifying of the flow of activities, then a structural engineer or a civil engineer comes into the picture to make it stable. So an architectural draws line, but then to make it sustainable or stable, or a structural engineer needs to come in. Now you actually did your architectural, you did your structural, unless and until the electromechanical part of it is basically going in, it becomes absolutely a non-functional area. So the electromechanical part of it, particularly we talk about hospital being a clean room, a biosafety kind of a building. The HVAC or the air conditioning part of it is much more important. Okay, so then the MEP part actually comes into the picture, right? So once the MEP comes into the picture, then the sustainable part of it goes in. So you have your architects, you have your structural engineers, you got your MEP basically at that particular moment, and then the sustainable engineer comes in and says, okay, if you actually do this, you can actually enhance so much of energy out of it. So once that is done, the building basically comes out of it. So these are the basic engineering principles involved in that. Other than how an OT works, how the various elements of operation theater basically functions, or a radioactive element within basically an X-ray room basically functions and all. Again, that's another engineering aspect of it which comes in, where you actually define the equipments related to the medical. So those are also a separate engineering aspect of it, where an engineer comes in and says, this particular equipment will take so much of space, and these are the functionalities of each one of them. And when you actually talk about an IC, you have a bed, you got a lot of panels at the back of it. So what are those panels? What kind of panels need to be put in? What kind of gases need to come in there, and so on and so forth, is again a different specialization as such. So we are currently doing a project which is a Central Public Health Laboratory, which is a biosafety level 3 kind of a category, right? So it's again a different aspect of it, where people from hardcore biosafety engineers basically come in and review the documentations, what we actually generate out of it. So yeah, that's what I could say.
Thank you, sir. The session was thoroughly illuminating for our students and kept each one of us engaged.
Hold on.
I'm sorry.
Sorry for taking the time.
No, please.
I'm Raja Jayavalan, part of SMC, and I'm coming from a finance domain. Nothing much I know about engineering, but this question is on behalf of my son, who's in 10th grade currently. And as principal cited, and as you mentioned as well, when it comes to engineering, it's all about mechanical, computer science, and civil and stuff like that. And I have two questions today for you.
Please, if I can.
Very generic question, because as a layman, I can ask only that, not technically.
Please.
One part is that, what is so passionate about your current responsibility as an engineer? Second part is that, what excites you as an engineer about the progress of engineering, field of engineering for another 10 decades? Like, how the engineering field is progressing, and what that excites you? Yeah, because this question is specifically asked because children might want to know, as an engineer, what engineer is so passionate about, what to pursue such kind of career.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Yeah. No, it's an important question primarily. It's not about me basically, it's about an engineer itself, right? So let me give my example at this particular stage. So I'm an entrepreneur. I started in 2010. So we basically were two people, absolute finicky engineers. We wanted to be differentiative to the market, to what it is. Okay, so we didn't want it to be a conventional engineering company as such. So we wanted to bring in innovation. So how do you bring in innovation is basically about technology. So you adapt to technologies, number one. And we were so passionate about certain technologies which are there in the construction industry. And we wanted to make sure that is implemented in Oman. Okay, so those are being used in Europe and US, Australia, Finland, it's vastly used. But then Oman was still naive at that particular stage, right? So we basically kind of adopted those technologies, we implemented that in Oman, and that was a huge differentiation factor for us. So what makes us different is what I explained to you, right? But then what interests us as civil engineers is these technologies. Now, we learned technology to convert a 2D drawing to a three-dimensional drawing. Now, from three-dimensional, we actually started looking at how do I virtually see my building completed without even hitting the ground. We actually went into that level. This building was conceived before even we hit the ground, the overall three-dimensional version of it. From an engineering perspective, it was looked at, not as an architectural perspective. So we actually look at each and every element of the services which actually go into the building. We model it. We actually see how they are running. There should not be any clashes between the various services and so on and so forth. And then it gets implemented at the site. Now, we have taken this like we call it every day is a learning. So we actually are learning every day. So what we have done from there on, we have basically taken that into the next level where we actually do the complete MEP services off the site. In the sense, there are no fabrication happening on the site. So everything is done off the site. You just bring it to the site and just play and plug. Okay, these are the enhancements which we have done to ourselves. And all this could be done only because we are passionate about something. Okay, so if you are not passionate about a certain discipline, you fizzle out. Okay, then you start looking at various other disciplines where you can actually get into. And you only do that because you want to earn money. Okay, so you become passionate about a certain aspect of it, you implement what needs to be done for the society, money is secondary, it actually follows you. So that's something which I would basically want to mention that, yeah. All right, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Let's all recharge and refresh ourselves for the next enriching panel discussion session. We will have a short tea break. Dear audience, we request you to please be back on your seats by 11:25. We will begin the panel discussion exactly at 11:30 a.m. And there's a little arrangement for the snacks for students. So dear students, please exit from the back gate and you can collect your refreshments.
Avenir is a global career guidance event to empower students and assist them in identifying their ideal future career path. It was conceptualized by the Board of Directors of Indian Schools in Sultanate of Oman. The first Avenir was organized at Indian School Al Mabala in the year 2018. In 2019, Indian School El Seeb conducted the program. Indian School Muscat conducted the first virtual Avenir in the year 2020. Avenir 2021 was conducted virtually by Indian School Al Wadi Al Kabir. In 2022, the flagship school in Oman. Indian School Bosher is all set to fly the flag higher by conducting Avenir 2022 in hybrid mode. Our impeccable planning, devoted team, unmatched resources guarantee a memorable event. The 5-day event will be held from Thursday, October 13, 2022 to Tuesday, October 18, 2022. Prominent achievers, educators, and industry experts will address the audience. Universities and educational institutes from different corners of the globe will present themselves to the audience of Avenir 2022. The event is open to all educational boards, including CBSE, ICSE, IGCSE, and IB. It will provide comprehensive career guidance to students to pursue their passions at national and international universities. Avenir 2022 guarantees a wealth of information and awareness on 21st century courses, scholarships, internships, and career placements. This event will assist students in discovering their ideal future career path. Let us gather together for this 5 days of excitement, effulgence, enlightenment, exploration, and exaltation. Let's join Avenir 2022 to discover you.
Check. Check 1, check 2.
Respected school coordinators and students, I would like you to please come back to your places and be seated. Soon we are going to start our session. Students, please be seated. Parents standing at the back, please, can I request you to come and have your seats? Teachers in charge for the discipline, please see to it that the students are on their places. I request respected parents as well to please be seated. Teachers on duty, can we please request the parents and escort them to those places so that we can start the session? Students, please be seated. The dignitaries and the speakers are here.
Students, I would request you to please get into your places as we need to begin the session. The panelists are waiting for you to settle down. The teachers in charge of discipline, please see to that the students are back in their seats.
Check. Check. Check one. Check. Check. Check.
Welcome back, dear audience. I would like to once again thank Mr. Damodar for an enriching and illuminating session. Thank you so much, sir. The aim of discussion should not be victory, but progress. A good discussion increases the dimension of everyone who takes part. Your perspective is always limited by how much you know. Expand your knowledge and you will transform your mind. Let me now invite our moderator for the session, Ms. Ambika Padmaban, to lead us to the panel discussion. Over to you, ma'am.
A scientist discovers a new type of material or energy, and an engineer discovers a new use for it. Good morning. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to Avenue 2022 #DiscoverU. Thank you so much for investing your time with us on a Friday morning. I am Ambika Padmanabhan, and I am the moderator for today's panel discussion. Today, we have an amazing panel of experts to discuss on fascinating careers in the field of engineering. Before we dive into the panel introduction, I would request all the panelists to please come up on the stage. May I invite Mr. Guruvayurappan sir to please come up on the stage. Dr. Pradeep Kumar, please sir. Welcome sir. Dr. Rashmi Krishnan, please. Dr. Damodar, please. Please have your seats, please. So let me take a check on the temperature of the room. Do I have any civil engineer here? Yes, sir. Very good. How many of you are electrical engineers? Any electrical engineers? Okay, I could see a hand going up. How many of you wish to be an engineer but landed up in a different profession? Okay, I could see 2 hands going up who want to be future engineers, but anyone who wanted to be an engineer but landed up in a different profession? Okay, no one, surprising. How many of you wish to be engineers in the future? I think all the hands should go up because you're sitting here in the hall. All the hands should go up. Very good. That's awesome. Thank you. So our goal today is to bring in a new idea, a fresh perspective, a new strategy to work on for fascinating career paths in the field of engineering. So here's the format to give you an idea of what to expect. We will take a few moments for each of the panelists to briefly introduce themselves and tell a little bit about their background in the industry. I will commence the conversation asking questions that draw out some of the high-level themes and trends in the field of engineering. And then the second half of our time today, we will open up the floor to give you all an opportunity to ask specific questions that you have been thinking about to help you navigate in the field of engineering. Sounds good? Great. Let's get started with the panel introduction. He started off with his own firm in Muscat with 2 employees and then branched out to Bangalore and Chennai in India and Uganda, employing around 120 plus engineers and other professionals. He is none other than entrepreneur and managing director, Mr. DAMODAR RAMACHANDRA KATTI. Over to you, sir.
Thanks. Thank you for that introduction. As I said, my name is Damodar, and just to keep it very simple, I'm a civil engineer. Started as a site engineer, then moved on to a structural engineer, and then I'm managing an office as an entrepreneur. So yeah, that's just to keep it very simple. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for the humble introduction. We move on to our next panel member. Considering the number of digital platforms and the highly sensitive data they use, it isn't surprising that cyber security has become increasingly important. In the current digital landscape, the opportunities for attack seems to be endless. But cyber security professionals are also establishing strong protection techniques to keep threats at bay. Here we have a seasoned project management specialist and consultant with more than 15 years of experience in IT security and information security projects. Let's hear it from Mr. Guruvayurappan. Yes.
A very good morning all. First of all, my thanks to the school management for having us here. I would like to introduce myself, already introduced by Mrs. Himabika. Still, I am working as a consultant for various clients across various industries, and mainly I am working right now for the consultant as for the banking industry, and I am the consultant for security, governance, risk and compliance for more than 15 years. Before this career of cyber security or information technology, I would say, I was into various other fields like in marketing and then into teaching, training, and then moved into this thing. So this I would wish to say that there is a significant reason behind these things as we are talking here about changing of the career or choices that we have in front of us. And that really helped me. And though we didn't have much opportunity at that time to do psychometric test or whatever that at that time, but still we helped, it helped me to develop my suitable career, and I am right now in the cybersecurity field. And that's all about. Thank you so much for giving the opportunity.
Thank you, sir. I would like to mention one more fact. October is celebrated as National Cyber Security Awareness Month. With 29 plus years of experience in teaching, she is also the recipient of several awards for being a distinguished educator and scholar. I request Dr. Rashmi Krishnan to brief us about her background in the industry.
Hello. First of all, thank you so much for the organizing committee of this Avenir 22 and also school management, ISB, SMC members and board of directors of Indian Schools in Oman. I'm Dr. Rashmi. As she said, I have 29 years. I am connected to the higher education, various forms as a resource person, advisory board member or program reviewer, and some BOD members of some universities and colleges in India and Oman. Some way I am connected to the higher education and of course research. Now I am acting as head of research, but my basic profession is computer science and engineering, and I am an associate professor. And my passion includes this research and community services, and I wish very much to share my knowledge and experience to children like you and community. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Next, we have a panelist from one of the oldest and broadest branches of engineering, an engineering branch that combines engineering physics and mathematics principles with material science to design, analyze, manufacture, and maintain mechanical systems. Let's hear it from Mr. Pradeep Kumar Krishnan.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, dear students. Especially, especially on this Friday, it's actually a long, sleepy day for us. Really thank you for being such a patient audience. And I am Dr. Pradeep Kumar Krishnan from National University of Science and Technology. I'm basically from Ooty, India. It's just such a cool place. And I'm working here in this college for more than 16 years. My experience having 16 years. I'm working here for more than 8 years. And I am an associate professor in National University of Science and Technology. And thank you, one and all.
Thank you, sir. So, let's commence the conversation now. Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I'll spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. Planning for higher education requires immense amount of research to choose the appropriate university, course, understand the country, its visa norms, and job prospects. Rashmi ma'am, could you please tell us what essential preparations are required when applying for higher studies?
Okay, so before starting my answer, my question to the audience, all are 12th grade students? Okay, so usually the preparation, we know that after 12th grade only we are thinking about the career. But I would like to say that at the end of 11th grade, you have to start the preparation. That is IELTS preparation, IELTS test you can try, and SAT exams you can try. Then, after the first mock exam of 12th grade, and meantime you have to keep all your exam grades, exam records, keep it with you, including the final mark sheet of the 11th grade. And all the mark sheet of 12th grade. Okay, see all the practical things only I am just pointing out, okay? And after the first mock exam of 12th grade, you have to start collecting the recommendation letter from 3 teachers and from your counselor. And also same time, you have to start writing about your statement of purpose. It is called SOP, mainly it is for Australia. And for US, you will say it's a common up statement like that. But anyway, the contents are same. That is, you should say about you. And please, my dear students, please keep in mind that this statement, you should be honest. Saying that just like that, I did that, I am good in that, it's not like that. You have to produce the evidence if they ask, okay? So always be honest on that. But same time, please don't ignore any of your skills. Whatever activities, especially suppose along with some organization or association, you have done something to the society, you please write it down. Because especially to the Western countries or other countries, these extracurricular activities have high value, okay, when they are considering your applications. So this is statement of purpose, and parallelly you are collecting the recommendation letter also from 3 teachers, and they will write the predictor score, everything. So that part will be there. Then you can start applying it from September to December time, the application time. Almost all universities will invite the application, and you can try for it, you can just fill it, depends on the discipline. See, the application, for example, for design course mainly they are looking for the portfolio only. They are not looking for any application, they are not looking for the SAT score and all. But other engineering disciplines, SAT score is important and application is important, so you can start applying for it. Almost all universities at the end of December, they will stop, they will complete this application process. So before that, make sure that you have applied for it. Then there are 3 types of admissions are there. Early admission, normal admission, and fixed admission. I think this may be a new information for you. So early admission, you can take if you are very confident that this is the course you are going to select and this is the university you are going to select, everything, you are very clear about that and confident, then go for the early admission. So that after that you can be relaxed, no? So normal admission, so this new early admission will be December to February time, it will be there. After that they will close it, then you can go for the normal admission. When you are going for the normal admission, always be clear which course you are interested. That's very important. Be clear and be confident why you are choosing the course and which course your interest is. Always go beyond passion, but same time please look for the opportunities also. Okay, that is one way. So at the end of December, you will submit all the application. Once you get this admission from the universities, parallelly you can immediately start for the visa processing, because you are going to apply as a student. Okay, student visa is there. So it will take 2 to 3 times, 2 to 3 weeks time. So that let it be there. Then at the end of the visa process, you will be called for an interview and you will be asked some questions about your course like that. So these are the preparations you have to make at the end of the 12th grade. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. What should students do before entering the university if they want to pursue a career in information technology? What and how should they prepare? What should they do and how should they prepare themselves?
That's a really great question, I would rather say. A very important question to answer first, because that is a very foundational base that we need to understand. Though I understand the audience level over here are from above 9th standard or 8th standard or 9th standard and above, this will be surely helpful for you to develop the career after your 12th standard, after your university and education. That is a little bit on higher side at this point of time. So I would like to answer for this question little bit in a foundational base to start with. Though there are lots of opportunities and choices are available for you in the future on information technology, as Mrs. Ambika was telling. What are we supposed to do? I would like to start with a quick quote by an expert. Okay. The foundational base of success, of my well-being and my wholeness, and everything is knowing about what I am and where I come from. That means the very simple answer is, for this question is, discover you. Okay, that's what we are here today. We all gathered here today with the great theme of discover you. Unless we discover ourselves, unless you discover you as an individual, we don't know what is our ability, what is our strength, what is our everything that we need to actually pursue further, so that to understand about the opportunities that are available in front of us and to make a right choice out of it. Because the most important skill that is actually demanding at this point of time is the ability to not to select the right choice, but how to switch between the choice and thereby to have a leadership quality. That's one of the major quality I would say is the goal setting. Okay, how are we going to set the goal? And set the goal, when I say the moving target, it is not just a target, it's a moving target. Because I would like to reflect to question raised by Mr. Principal during the session. What happens after pursuing, after I spend, as a parent, I could see the question reflection from, as a parent point of view from principal. What happens if I joined, my son or daughter pursued the career in engineering or studying engineering, and then asking me to give me a photograph, or I wanted to become a National Photographic Channel photographer. Okay, thanks to 3 Idiots movie that influenced all the parents and created the fear among the parents now. Agree? So that is the real challenge in the current situation that we have to understand. That is the ability to select the right choice and accordingly to change the trajectory, the career path. I am not willing to change the career of information technology to medical directly. That is not the trajectory I am talking about. I am talking about the field. Okay, your area of field might be information technology, but there is a huge opportunity in information technology, starting from A to Z. If you want me to spell out, I can give you a huge list. Okay, starting from A for artificial intelligence, or B for blockchain, or C for cloud computing, or whatever it is. I can keep on telling that one. Okay, I don't want to scare it right now at this moment, but you need to develop. That is, as a student, I am trying to help. As a student or as a parent, we need to ensure that we are building the base for that one. What are those base? When we talk about the base, it is very fundamental. A, B, C's. The fundamentals, when we say that ABCs of that one. To discover you. The ABCs before the D. A for aptitude, okay, with the right attitude. We need to ensure develop the skills, that aptitude, that knowledge, whatever we require, I hope you all recollect the list of skills that have been shown by our panel member, Dr. Damodar, Engineer Damodar, sorry, before the session. Okay, how many of you are aware of your own personality type? How many of you are aware of your own attribute or trait? If I want you to just tell me one adjective before your word, what are you so proud of telling? One single word. Can any of you give one example quickly? If I ask you to brief yourself with one adjective, okay? Okay, I would like to start with me, for example. Okay, I know only myself as a guru by name, just like that, till I understand myself or analyze myself for some time. Then I understood, okay, I have some ability to go and get it somehow. So people used to name it. It is not me who named it. People name it, okay, if you want to go and get something, go to guru. Okay, so that I understand, okay, that is something within me. Okay, thanks to that one. Okay, that's thanks to understand about my personality trait. And also I understand my own analysis and personality trait and everything. That's what I wanted to tell to the students at this point of time. Try to understand yourself, the aptitude that you have, okay, with the right attitude. The attitude, when we say, it's all about the level of thinking, that your thinking ability, okay, start thinking algorithmic, for example. Because I am just in the same trajectory of information technology career path, what Mrs. Ambika was asking about, okay. So you need to have the basic computational skills and thinking towards that one. If you wanted to develop your career in the same information technology, for example, in the cyber security field tomorrow, in the future, you need to start develop from security mindset, the thinking of security mindset. Okay, what is meant by security mindset? Okay, that would be a very big topic right now for the children or the students to understand. Very simple. From the beginning, you can start thinking from every perspective. Okay, where the security comes into picture. That is, the protection comes into picture. When you perceive a threat, there comes the security comes into picture. Okay, so that is the level of thinking you have to develop. I am still in the A for aptitude only. The second one is B, behavioral skills. Try to analyze your own behavior attributes. Participate in psychometric tests that are conducted and the opportunities that are given by the school every now and then on various career awareness program, and every year the awareness is going on, and ensure that you are also doing your own analysis. And how many of you have the inventory of your own self? If I ask you to introduce about you, what do you introduce now, today, at this moment? As a student, if I ask you to introduce yourself, what do you introduce maximum? You may want to introduce to me that I am so and so, I am studying in this section or class of the school. Okay? Maximum you can say, right? But what do you think that everyone would be interested to know from you more about that one? Like what you have developed or acquired, or what is a significant thing to know about yourself on this platform, where you can take it as an opportunity to tell that. How many of you agree with me? Do you raise your hand? All right? Yeah, would you like to say something?
We have a pattern. I'll take the mic.
That's quite encouraging to see the participation among the audience. Thanks for giving mic. Yeah, please, my dear friend.
Yes, sir. Good morning. If I were to introduce yourself, like how you had said, rather than saying that I'm from such and so class or this grade, I would.
Sorry to interrupt. You can just directly introduce quickly.
Yeah, like
you introduce to me.
My name is Adil. I am a student of ISG. An interesting thing that would be a bit uncommon here is that I have a Australian patent to my name. It's about an idea for a tilt indicating device. I got it in March this year.
Wow, great. That's great to know that. Let's give him a big round of applause. First thing, thank you. You may sit, please. First of all, I should actually appreciate his courageousness to come forward and stand up and rise up and shine during this event mainly. Second, he introduced himself differently about what he is so proud of or achieved actually. That is what actually expected. This is not the question that comes today. This question will come till the end of your career or over the lifetime as the very first question. For example, in the future, tell me about yourself. It's only all about how we are going to tell about ourselves at every instance of the life. What I am trying to say is, as and when the world changes and every now and then the changes occurs, that we need to also understand ourselves and accordingly we have to do. Okay, right now I am in the B only. A for aptitude, B for behavioral skills. That is, know about yourself very clearly, about your behavior pattern, about your habits, and that will develop your character. C for character, so that you will be knowing more about yourself, and thereby you will also know about C for choices. I can see C for character and C for choices as well. So we need to know more about our aptitude, our behavior, and after about our career choices available also. Okay, so that will help you to discover yourself. That is the fundamental thing that I would like to start with to develop any career, and mainly with regard to information technology as a career. Okay, so the most important challenge is, the first challenge is, it is not the choice that is around us in the ever-changing world, in the fast pace of changing the world. It is all about how we are going to select the right target and adapting according to the changes in the field of information technology or security or whatever it is that we are going to take it. Okay, so this will really help the students to pursue the career in information technology in the future down the line 5 years, because they are now into 9th or 10th or 11th. So down the line 5 years, that will help us to help them to develop it further.
Yeah,
I hope that answers.
I completely agree with you, sir.
Thank you.
We are on the cusp of witnessing a major shift in the job market. Most jobs that exist today will cease to exist in the future, and instead will be replaced by new emerging professions. As you are rightly pointed out, we have artificial intelligence, blockchain technology, data science. So that's really good to know. Let's move on to Damodar, sir. The construction and manufacturing sectors are growing fast in India. Nobody can deny it. But still, we have only a few takers for civil and mechanical engineering courses. And there is always a craze for IT, electronics and communication. So how would you motivate our students to take up civil engineering?
That's a very hard question to answer, I suppose. So, see, that used to be the case a few years back. Okay, so wherein there was a boom on IT, and then everybody wanted to get into IT. So the people who basically did 4 years of automobile engineering, my own brother basically did automobile engineering, now he's working for IBMs and all that stuff. So as far as the civil or mechanical or electrical aspects of it is concerned, things have changed. We call them as evergreen disciplines. These are now at very high sought out disciplines right now, if you actually look at it. Because the technology is integrated along with all of these disciplines. Technology plus the basics primarily helps everybody to actually move forward. Now, one aspect of it which we all need to understand, why everybody wanted to move on to the IT field was a fresher would actually get 20,000 rupees as a startup. Okay, that used to be the case. A civil engineer would actually get around 1,500 rupees per month as a salary as a fresher, basically. So that used to be the case why people used to basically run just behind where the money is, right?
That's true.
So again, everybody, we are all talking about passion, we are all talking about how it needs to be done, but the things have changed now. Every other disciplines, either it be civil, mechanical or electrical, combined with technology, they are all on par with the industry standards. So I get students coming to me, final year students of engineering coming to me, taking trainings, girls coming to me and saying that I want to be a site engineer first. So there are aspects of this which need to be considered. So it's not just everybody is running behind IT or computer science and so on and so forth. Yes, that field is important, but then unless and until, I keep saying this, unless and until a civil engineer builds a data center and IT cannot basically function along with, so with all due regards. So, but then it so happens that each and every disciplines are important. Everybody gets the due what it needs to be given. Money is there. If people are worried, if the parents are worried, my kid, if actually he does civil engineering, he may not get enough salary to survive and so on and so forth. Those days are gone. Please be assured about it. Everybody is on par now. So that primarily is something which you should take it as a motivator at this particular stage.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So since I had mentioned about mechanical engineering also, as I had pointed out earlier, it is one of the oldest and the broadest branches of engineering. So could you tell us if mechanical engineering still holds a promising future? What is the future of mechanical engineering?
Mechanical engineer, like the term itself, it's so energetic, right? So powerful. Am I right? You all agree? So I'll just put this question across. Dear students, like how many of you are like fascinated or aspirants to become a mechanical engineer, or I could say a robotics and artificial intelligence engineer? So yeah, there are so many students. Please trust me, the future is yours. Trust me, the future is yours. As Ambika ma'am rightly said, mechanical engineering is one of the oldest and also versatile, and it is evergreen. 100 years ago, if you just list down what are the top 5 engineering courses, there is a mechanical engineering. 50 years ago, if you are down again, list down the top 5, again you can find mechanical engineering. Even presently, even in future, after 50 years, if you search for top 5 engineering, you will find mechanical engineering. Of course, as Engineer Damodar sir clearly mentioned, the only thing is the dimension has been changed. Nowadays, the digitization is emerging rapidly, not only in mechanical, in all the industries. So even mechanical engineering is also undergoing some different dimensions, like a kind of robotic and artificial intelligence and additive manufacturing, where you have some 3D printers and all that, IoT, Internet of Things, and CIM, computer integrated manufacturing, and advanced mechatronics, digital twins, and VR, the virtual reality, composite materials, well, that's my area actually. Nowadays, in most of the cars, not only cars, even aircraft structures everywhere, we need a very lightest material, isn't it? We need a very lightest material. At the same time, we don't want to compromise on its strength. You all agree with me? We want a fuel efficient cars, right? Fuel efficient car. We need light material, and also we need a strength materials. So that's the reason nowadays a lot of research is going on in the composite materials. And design of smart materials, smart machines, and also smart manufacturing. And also nowadays we have computer-aided designs, computer-aided manufacturing, hybrid automobile technology, electrical vehicles, and then drone technology. So these are the areas where it comes under mechanical. Okay, so it has taken a different dimensions, that's it. And the students, those who graduate from mechanical engineering course, they will get a different, profile, like say automation engineer, robotic engineer, and then CAD/CAM engineer, design engineer, especially the design engineer is, wherever, whichever the field it is, the design engineer has some value. Okay? So, and once they complete the engineering courses, what kind of the job they will get? So they will be placed in a different sectors. Generally, this, if we ask something about the mechanical, can I just ask someone, what is mechanical? Can you just tell me, anyone? What is mechanical? What do you understand about mechanical?
Yeah,
Yes,
we
please.
have a child.
It means related to machines. So, okay, is there any other answers?
Anyone else wants to take it up?
Always there is some perception, like mechanical engineers, they always troubleshoot something. That's not the case actually. What is mechanical? In the term itself there is an answer. Mechanical means something which moves. Right from the tiniest, the nano size and micro size materials to the massive aerospace structure, spacecraft structure. Okay, so that's all about a mechanical engineer. Okay, so once you complete the mechanical engineering, what type of job that you will get? So there's a lot of things like transport sectors, like just if you take transport sectors, transport sector, it comes like, the land and even the sea, and we can say even in the air, right? So in the transport, we can say automobile engineer, like Tesla, BMW, and then Mercedes-Benz, and almost all the automobile sectors, they are looking for mechanical engineers. And even in the sea, like marine engineering. In the marine engineering, for the shipbuilding again, they want mechanical engineering. And in the aircraft constructions, like for example, like Boeing, Airbus, everything they wanted like mechanical engineering. So you not only this, and they have transport sectors, and also you have a lot of job opportunities even in the oil and gas sectors, and not only oil and gas, and also in a variety others like thermal power plants, many other sectors like electronics, like Siemens, many other sectors you have the job opportunities. So if you are an aspirant to become a mechanical engineer, that means you have made a right decision. Sure, the future is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So it was truly enriching to know the scope of mechanical engineering. Now, having discussed the different courses in engineering, Rashmi ma'am, how can students select a course that would suit them best?
Yeah.
Would you like to share some tips?
Yeah, so how to select courses and universities or colleges, that's very important in your this stage. So my answer, I am mainly focusing on the 11th grade children sitting here. See, by this time, when you are in 11th grade, you should be clear about your choice. Okay. See, what is my observation is, maybe 50% of students, they are very clear about their choice. But the remaining 50%, if they are asking, they are not so clear, they are vague. But my suggestion, my dear children, by this time, when you are completing your 10th and when you are going for the 11th, that time itself, please be clear about your choice. So how to be clear, how to choose your, how to go for your selection? You have to identify your passion or your skill, your talent. So nowadays, various opportunities are there. Almost all types of courses are available. Previously, it was not like that. Some limited courses and engineering, some limited courses, and then medicine. It was the case. But now it is not like that. Almost all courses, you have professional courses are there. So after identifying your passion or your skill or talent, so thing is you have to study it, okay? You have to study the technology behind it. Then only you can become a profession. Because tomorrow's world is competitive world. So only I know this one, I have a talent, I have a skill. You cannot compete. So you should know the technology behind it. That's why we are going and studying 4 years bachelor studies or undergraduate studies, okay? So that is the first thing. So after you are clear about your choice, then you can search for the universities. Nowadays, internet is there, it's like an ocean. Everything you will get the internet, or you can go for some consultancy like IDP. Today they have given the presentation, either like consultancy, or you can depend on the internet. You have to choose the good universities. For that, my suggestion is you can go for the ranking, mainly QS ranking is there. The thing is an organization, reputed organization will be an added value to your CV. It will help you to find a job more easily. So always reputation of your organization is very important. One more thing is there, even though one university or college is very reputed, for example, Ivy League universities are there or colleges are there, but for some disciplines, some universities are more reputed. That also you have to check. For example, if you want to go for design, which is the ranking of the universities, that may not be an Ivy League university or college. For example, Stanford. Stanford is an Ivy League, but it is famous for the medicine. Like that, Yale University, it's an Ivy League. It is very famous for the medicine. Similarly, in Europe, computer engineering, Edinburgh is very famous. Like that, you can check which university or which college is very good for your profession, for your discipline. That's very important. Parallelly, so that is one way of searching for the university or colleges, especially in India also. So I am telling India and abroad, both the cases, okay? Then another thing is, parallelly you need to get information. You can gather information about that particular university or college through the alumni. Different forums are there on internet. And on professional platforms like LinkedIn and some other platforms, you can depend. And alumni forums are there for each university or college. You can go there and you can gather information about the alumni students. That is very important. So you will get an idea about your university and college. That is one thing. Normally, what is a practical suggestion is, when you are applying for universities, you can go for some 2 to 3 top ranking universities, some 3 to 4 middle ranking universities, and some 1 to 2 lower ranking universities. So that is the pattern. This is my suggestion or my advice to you. This is the pattern you can follow. So that top ranking also you can try. Sometimes based on your mark, you can see your marking and the chances or possibility also. But you can have a try. Maybe it depends on the situation. Sometimes you may get, sometimes you may not get. So this is the thing you can suggest. Then another thing is, actually when you are choosing a university, you have to go to the website of the university and search for the course outcomes, job opportunities, financial structure. Everything is important. See, just like that, we cannot go and select an Ivy League. The fees is very high, fee structure. The financial possibility also we should check, isn't it? So the reputation of the organization or college or university, employment opportunities, that and all we can understand from the alumni forum. Then this course outcomes, again opportunity of that particular course, and what are the other services college or university is providing, and the fee structure, payment structure, and chance of getting scholarships. All these things you have to check once you select a college or university. So these are the various factors you have to consider when you are applying for courses and universities.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. So, Guru sir, could you tell us what are the growing industries of future for students? Like Pradeep sir had already mentioned about in the field of mechanical engineering. So you have mentioned about ABC, right? So any other growing industries are there which you would like to mention about?
Okay. when you are asking about the industry's perspective, what are the future opportunities that are available, again, my answer to that question would be the same, but little bit on elaborative way, for example. In fact, for that matter, it would be a little bit on very heavy side, I would rather say at this moment. Why? Because down the line 5 years, it will take at least 5 years for you to decide, I mean for the children, for the students whom we are targeting right now, to come to select or to know about that product. But nothing wrong in knowing about the available trend and the changes that are occurring currently, okay? So just I would like to take a little diversion out of that one here. Here you would have heard from Dr. Pradeep about talking about the mechanical engineering. And how many of you are aware that mechanical engineering, as Sir was also mentioning, 100 years ago, if you take that industry revolution itself, the first industry revolution 1.0 started with mechanical engineering only. Okay, the same mechanical engineering has been evolved to industry revolution of 4.0 with advancement of robotics and artificial intelligence, virtual reality, okay, genomics, or you name it, anything, drones, using drones and everything over there. I'm just covering all the future technologies available also. If you would have observed on Engineer Damodar's presentation, okay, earlier, he was covering about the future technologies almost in his slides, all the slides, starting from, again, artificial intelligence to robotics or name it anything, Internet of Things, not just Internet of Things, it is Internet of everything, okay. So all the fields are the future, actually, okay. And he has covered about the industry revolution 5.0 almost. How many of you are aware that which revolution we are in now? I mean in industry revolution. We are in 4.0 or 5.0?
We all know Rajinikanth 2.0.
Sorry?
We all know Rajinikanth 2.0.
Okay, thanks to that kind of movie that really helped to people to understand about the robotics and robots. Yeah. Okay, so let's take the positive side of the movie side also. Okay, so that is the influence of Industry Revolution 4.0, where we are talking about the digital transformation, where that artificial intelligence, the study of patterns with the help of data and okay, data mining, data science, machine language. Okay, we are talking about the artificial intelligence, right? So all those things that comes as a part of this influence only. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is the future relies on one major thing, important thing, on everything based on the data, for example. Okay, might be, I'm not just telling because of me come from the cyber security perspective or data security or information security perspective, but the sixth element in the universe. I hope all of us are aware of the 5 elements in the universe, right? The sixth element would be the data. And data is called as the new petrol also. Okay? So why I'm comparing that with petrol? Because the entire world is fighting for the petrol. And the future, if there is a war, thanks to COVID for influencing everything on remote working or work from home, even the warfare will also be from remotely, through cyber warfare only. Okay? So we are talking here about, I am not here to spell out all the jargonish words over here, but that is the reality. That is the future of the world. Okay, so the cyber war, okay, unless, so it is up to us how we are going to develop the passion towards which industry, as our Dr. Ashwini was Reshmi was mentioning. Okay, develop the passion. How do we develop the passion? How do you identify the passion? Okay, I know I could read some mind voice over here. What is the next acronym Guru is going to tell? I understand. Okay, after A, B, C, D, now I am going to tell about one more tip, the last tip. Okay, how many of you have created your own inventory? Again, the same question. Inventory of strength, inventory of your weaknesses, inventory of your opportunities available, and inventory of your threats. Have you heard about SWOT? How many of you have heard about the SWOT analysis? Can you raise up your hand? Good. Good to see that. Right? So, to filter down your choices and thereby to take a right decision and thereby to select the right goal in the future and thereby to identify your passion towards a particular field. I don't want to narrow down directly towards engineering or medical or whatever it is. Assuming that we are now persuading towards engineering field or information technology or cyber security, this is quite commonly applied for every field we are going to select. So, from now onwards, try to develop your inventory. I hope Indian School Bowsher has a very good initiative of creating digital portfolio. Okay? there is a concept of digital portfolio development. How many of you are effectively using that one? How you are using that one to develop your own inventory? It is not just about putting the photos of your career visit to Salala or whatever it is. It is all about yourself. Okay, what are the strengths about you? What are the skills that you acquired over a period of time? What are your abilities? Okay, everything that you can showcase and develop the digital portfolio over a period of time, and thereby you can understand and you can create a structured analysis of yourself to select the right career, again within the information technology as an engineering field or in the medical field or whatever it is based on your interest, rather than switching over suddenly from engineering to National Geographic photography in the future. Okay?
Thank you.
So it all depends on your own self-structured analysis and study, which helps you to pursue towards particular career, and that is no exception towards information technology or information security or cyber security. If you are so interested towards to know about cyber security field, I can give you a quick tip on cyber security. For example, you need to understand the three concepts, very basic thing. When we talk about security generally, we are talking only about password, protection of the data, right? That is the prevention from unauthorized access. It is not the security all about only keeping it in the lock, safe lock. It is all about protecting its availability. Okay? How you can protect the data or your asset from loss, from the loss of the data or whatever it is. So try to develop the thinking ability towards security mindset. On security mindset. This is what I wanted to say. Okay, so I hope that answers.
Yes, sir, that answered my question. So before we move on to the Q&A session, one last question to all the panelists. If you have to mention one skill set which is required for your area of expertise, like if a student needs to be a mechanical engineer, one skill which he needs to possess, or if he wants to be a cyber information technology specialist, one skill that he needs. So I want everybody to give me one skill which is required, because morning we had a discussion about the hard skills and the soft skills. So one skill for mechanical engineering.
As ma'am said, Damodar sir, he has listed out all the skill sets that an engineers require. For me, basically, for mechanical engineers, I will say that mechanical engineers need some skill sets, the blend of skill set, I would say. Basically, the fundamental skills and hard skills, and then the soft skills. The fundamental skills, as Damodar sir mentioned in his slides, basically you will get it, because it is only the mathematics, science, physics, chemistries are there as a fundamental skills. And apart from that, you need to have some hard skills, which are like analytical skills, numerical skills, problem solving, some of these even design skill. These are the things that you really have to develop. This will not be taught to you. Yes, of course, some of the modules they teach you all this, but other than that, it has to be, you have to develop by yourself, as Damodar sir said in the morning. Some of the skills like soft skills, again it has to be developed by yourself, like critical thinking, all those like reading skills, writing skills. Of course, how will you develop all this? Just like something like IELTS, morning we have attended one session like IELTS. When you enroll it, automatically they will take care of all these skills. You will automatically get that reading skill, writing skill and everything. Okay? And not only that, as you say, like, you need to have some design skills. How do you develop all this? As some of the engineers are here, we myself as I teach design in my college. I teach graphics, engineering graphics, as Damodar sir also mentioned this in the morning. The first lesson, what we teach to the student in an engineering graphics is just, believe it or not, we teach them how to write the alphabets. we teach them seriously. The first lesson, we teach them how to write an alphabet and numbers. The reason, still, the students are struggling to write. Every one of us write our fonts in our own style, isn't it? But engineering graphics doesn't require that. The engineering graphics, we call it as a universal language for engineers. Every one of us having a different language. But the engineering graphics, the drawing, is a universal language for engineers. When you create some drawings, graphics, if you send it across to any other country, they should understand. It should be communicatable. So in that case, you should learn that skill and you should learn that standard, industry standards. Again, the industry standard comes under the hard skills. How do you get that industry knowledge? The ones you start your career in mechanical engineering in a college level, and the level 2 onwards you will be given a semester break or whatever it is. That is not the vacation where you take the rest. That's the time where you have to acquire these kind of skills. You have to go to an industries. Never mind, either it can be of small scale industries or large scale industries. You just have to go visit the industries and see really what is really happening there in the industries. That's the biggest gap actually. It's a wonderful question either. Even myself, apart from the assistant professor, I'm also holding another one more responsibility as industrial visit coordinator in our college. Believe it or not, there are nearly about thousands and above students studying in our university. Each and every student in a semester, they have to visit at least one industry. Okay, it's relevant to their course. For example, myself, I am teaching composite materials. I have to take the students to the composite materials where they manufacture the composite pipes and all that. The next week we have a visit to a Sohar composite pipes manufacturing company, so that the students will understand the theory and as well as the practically how it is applied in the industries. That is very important. But nowadays there's a lot of unemployment issues are there among the engineers. We cannot deny on that. Yes, of course there is a lot of unemployment. That is one side. But the other side, if you talk to industry people, there's a lot of job opportunities available. There's a lot of job opportunities available. On the other side, there's like unemployment. Don't you think that it is contradicting? It's just because of this lack of skills. The lack of skills. That's the only thing. I have seen many examples like students, those who are having a very good grades, CGPA, whatever it is. They have more than 90%, but still they are not employed just because they don't have the skills, extra skills. That you must acquire in order to be placed. I think I've taken extra time, sorry for that.
Over to Rashmi ma'am.
See, actually, in a single word, if I am telling, my dear children, there is no shortcut to the success, only hard work. Whatever is the discipline you are choosing, whatever is the university or college you are choosing, only hard work will help you to succeed in life, okay? But when we are telling about this job opportunities like that, as he said in his previous speech, all employers are giving high priority to the soft skills than this knowledge. So they are just checking whether your knowledge is average. After that, they are checking the soft skills. Soft skills include communication skills, your teamwork, your positive attitude. That's very, very important. Actually, one way you are lucky that this awareness is given to you now. When we were studying, actually we were not aware that. So in our working place, it is reflected also. So in our age, that is reflected nowadays. So maybe from that thought only, now this awareness is shared to all children nowadays in schools and colleges. So that positive attitude is very, very important. So all employers are seeking for that. That's the first thing. Then, in addition to that, when you are getting admission in university or college, you are thinking that life is so easy there. It's not like that. That is your expectation. But the reality is little harder than that. Okay, so if I am asking what is your expectation in your next, after 12th, maybe you may not think about it, but it is little difficult situation. That is, you are shifting your life to a new atmosphere. Your atmosphere is different, their friends are different, your way of study, everything is different. Here the teachers are like your second mother, they are feeding you, they are teaching you each lesson. If one lesson is missing, you will complain, teacher is not taught that one. This is the thing happening in the schools. But when you are going to a university or a college, things are not at all like that. In higher education, things are not at all like that. Because why I am telling this is, my daughter is studying second year and her friends are now complaining. See, we went there with high expectations, a reputed organization, but nothing is teaching there like that. That is the reality in higher education, okay? There, the self-learning is the most expected thing. Teachers or the lecturers, they are only guiding you. They are telling this is the topic, these are the reference books are there, or these are the resources are there. So nowadays internet is there, books are there, you can depend on anything, but self-learning is the mostly expected thing in higher education. That is the one reality you should be aware, okay? Then, after joining that, some life skills, you will learn some life skills because you are away from the parents. Till 12th, parents are there, mother is there, almost all houses, that is the situation. Mothers are there, parents are there behind of the exam. I know that 12th grade and all mothers will cut all the extra activities like that. So they are behind of the children, okay. But from after 12th, when you are joining for a professional course, the situation is entirely different. You are away from your parents, so you are independent there. As one of the previous talk, she was mentioned from IDP, you are independent, you are flexible, but you should be responsible. You are the only responsible person for your future, for your career life. Okay, so automatically you will learn the time management. Otherwise, no, so it's a trial and error only. The first time you will, if you are not good in time management, you will learn. You know, mistakes will be there. So second time you will learn that one. So time management, financial management, so automatically you will learn. So that are the skills you will learn. Then you will be aware about the social awareness, how to mingle, how to mix with your friends, how to join with your friends. So many good and bad things will be there. Different types of children will be there. Okay, especially for the Middle East children, you are going. Everything is a spoon feeding culture like that. Yeah. But in India or other countries, it is not like that. Okay, so that social awareness will be there. And the most important thing is emotional awareness is there. So you are the only person. If good thing or bad thing, you are the only person who can consider you like that. So that emotional awareness also will be there, and it's a totally, so these are the life skills you will learn during your study, and it's a totally shift to a new adulthood. It's a shift to the adulthood. So you will be prepared for that, and don't think that it is more easy than the school life. It is not like that. It is little harder, but you are matured for that, and slowly you will learn for that. So these are the life skills, and definitely soft skills are required. That is the, consciously you should develop soft skills. That is a good dedication. Wherever, whatever the job, whatever the course you are doing, that dedication is very important. See, nowadays here you can see the examples here. See, here in this school, the teachers, I can see from the moment when I entered to the school, I am seeing here all the teachers, how dedicatedly they are working for this event. Maybe it is not necessary for them. From the principal, from the dean, all the teachers, they are, so night they are going by 10 o'clock. How dedicatedly they are doing this job for you. It is for you actually. Okay. Like this dedication, whatever job, whatever course you are taking, this dedication should be there. And I think one of the previous speakers, they have mentioned, so out of this passion when we are doing the job, so it has some special impact. That will be reflected everywhere. So these are all these key points should be kept in mind.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for that detailed list of skill sets that are required. So, yes, sir.
I mean, just two things. If somebody is looking at engineering, any discipline, concentrate on maths and learn how to read the drawings. These are the two things which I would like to mention. We have said so many things about how dedication needs to be put in, hard work needs to be put in. But then civil engineering, mechanical engineering, any kind of engineering, maths is important, and then reading drawings is important. So I would request all of you to concentrate on such subjects as such. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I don't want to take much time of this question. I just want to bring back myself on the track. If I correctly understand the question, you are asking for one skill that you wanted from us for the students in the future, right? I would like to consolidate all the skills told by my fellow panel members in one skill that is nothing but ability to discover yourself, discover you. That's all. Okay, that's what the skill that we all need to develop as a student or as a parent. Okay, how do you develop that one? It's up to you. And you have the solution for yourself from the school. You have the digital portfolio, as I mentioned you. Please go and open one page for every acronym. A for your achievements. List out all the achievements. B for all your behavioral skills that you developed over a period of time. And if you don't know what are the behavioral skills, pick up the slide from Mr. Damodar. Okay, the list of skills that he has listed out, and try to recollect those skills spelled out by Dr. Reshmi or Dr. Pradeep also. Okay, so very simple, you need to just follow, discover you, and so that you can build up your own inventory, and that would be the skill that is required down the line 5 years. That's how I wanted to close. Thank you.
So no matter the industry, we all need a diverse range of skills like problem solving, creative thinking, critical thinking, innovation, attention to detail, and up-to-date technical knowledge. I have just summarized whatever skills you have mentioned. So do all your preparations well, stay informed, and make better choices. With this, we shall move to the last segment of the session, Q&A session from the students. Any questions from the students' end? Over there.
Boys, don't you have any questions?
Good afternoon, ma'am. Ma'am, we were talking about taking admission between November-December time, August to December time. But like if I read JEE, the results will come during the August and December time. So after that only I can take admission. What do you have to comment about that?
Mic is over there.
See, I'm saying till December. Hello, I'm saying till December, that's a early admission. Okay, early admission is till December, January, February, that time. But till August, that normal admission time is there. That is it.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
To the panel, on behalf of other students, I just want a quick answer on this very important question. Which are the 21st century, scope in engineering? Can you just list out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? And which are the areas which you feel, there's a downfall? Because this, they should know so they can prepare accordingly. Please.
No, could you please be clear with the question, sir?
I'll again repeat my question. What is the scope? Which are the different field in engineering where, it's a new addition in 21st century. The profession is going to do well, in particular in engineering. For example, we have seen aviation, the progress happening in aviation. Likewise, which are the profession you see in 21st century will do very well? And which are the profession you feel, the progress has declined?
Decline is something which is not going to happen. All the courses are going to be there as it is. But as an upward trend, if you actually have to look at it, so we are talking about sustainability at utmost important factor of it right now. So sustainability is one of it. Space technology is what we are actually talking about. These are the two factors of it, right? So, and along with this, what happens is the rest of all basically are the complementary. So either it be civil, mechanical, IT, computer science, are all complementary. But these two segments we actually foresee as one of the, or the key elements of it where the students should concentrate upon with.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Good afternoon. I know my likes and dislikes and I know which field to take. But a problem that I encountered is in the field that I like, there are still many types of engineering that you can take. For example, if I like space, there's aeronautical engineering, there is aerospace engineering. If I like technology, there are still many number of engineering types that I can choose from. So on what basis should I choose the kind of engineering that I have to take?
Can I take this question?
Yeah, sure, sir.
Okay. Sorry, I couldn't get your name. Can you just...
Hello. My name is Niranjan.
Sorry?
Niranjan.
Niranjan. Okay. Niranjan, that's a really great, ambitious question, I would rather say. I don't know which class you are studying now.
I'm in 9th.
9th standard, okay. Very good to know that at the earlier stage that you wanted to know which area of study particularly you wanted to focus on, okay. But also try to keep, I am not discouraging, I am just encouraging you with lots of opportunities available in front of you, considering the fast space, okay, the drastically changing pace of the world. Okay, you can broad scope your area of, for example, as you rightly said, space technology, correct? You wanted to pursue your engineering towards that, but you don't know exactly what engineering course that you wanted to select, okay? So for that matter, what you do, you just try to analyze yourself, the list of courses that are available, as I told you, right? The listing out, all the inventory. Pick up the list of courses that have been shown, either within India or outside the India, from the IDP people, okay? The IDP people show you some list of colleges. Yesterday, if you had attended the program, okay, one of the professor was actually telling about the courses, that list of engineering college. So these are all the basic homework that you need to do at this age, okay, at this time, during 9th and 10th and 11th when you go, you need to ensure that you have to take the computer science course, for example, okay. That is your focus to be right now. That is your goal setting should be short term and then move to long term, okay. You got it right? So, towards the short term, try to please focus right now on short term goal. Okay, what would be the immediate goal I need to take? I need to pursue towards maths, physics, chemistry and computer science if you are interested on space technology. Okay, and then moving towards next, you can study further and you can analyze further and you can drop down and you can narrow down the scope and the choices and you can take your own decision making if you just follow your digital portfolio properly. Okay. I hope that would help you right now, Niranjan.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, panelists, for patiently answering the students' and parents' queries. I request the esteemed panelist and Ms. Ambika to please remain on the stage.
Can I request our principal, sir, Mr. Bhavesh Bhalerao, to kindly accompany our Assistant Education Advisor, Dr. Alex C., our President, Mr. Ajayan Poyara, Vice President, Dr. Anshan C.K., and other SMC members on the platform. Students, I would request you to please wait for 5 more minutes. Can I request Mr. Ajayan sir to please felicitate Mr. Damodar Ramachandran KATTI? Can I request Dr. Anshan CK to please felicitate Mr. Pradeep Kumar? Can I request Dinesh sir to please felicitate Mr. Guru Vayarappan? Can I request Mr. Raja Jayabalan to please felicitate Dr. Rashmi Krishnan? Can I also request our principal sir, Mr. Bhavesh Bhalerao, to facilitate Ms. Ambika, Vice Principal? Can I request all the school management committee members to please join for a picture? And the panel members as well. Thank you so much, dignitaries and the SMC members. As we draw the end of this enriching session, I deem it my great privilege to propose the vote of thanks. We extend our thanks to our eminent speakers, Mr. Damodar Ramachandran KATTI, for all his words of motivation. Thank you so much, sir. We express our gratitude to the spokesperson of IDP for sharing us details and giving us an overview of the career guidance. Thank you. Our deepest sense of appreciation and gratitude to Dr. Sivakumar Manikam, Chairman Board of Directors, Indian School in Oman, and Director in Charge, Indian School Baushar, and other honorary dignitaries, Directors of the Board of Directors, Indian School in Oman. Our heartfelt thanks to Mr. Ajayan Poyara, President, Indian School Baushar Management Committee, and other members of Indian School Baushar School Management Committee for their profound encouragement at all times. I request all the dignitaries to please come and take their seats. Avenir 2022 #DiscoverU is powered by IDP, IELTS. Our platinum sponsors, Jen University. Gold sponsors, De Montfort University. Silver sponsors, Dallas Baptist University, MIT Pune, Grey Matter, SP Jain University, and Acharya University. And bronze sponsors, Middle East College, digital marketing partner Spectrum and Trifol, media partner The Arabian Stories, and valued donors.
I also wish to take this opportunity to express our heartfelt gratitude to our prudent captain of the ship, Dr. Bhavesh Bhalerao, Principal of Indian School Baushar, Honorable Principals of the Schools of the MENA region, Indian Schools in Oman, Vice Principals, Assistant Vice Principals, Coordinators, Supervisors, and the entire teaching fraternity for their support and guidance. I also wish to thank each and every student and parent for the valuable presence in making this session a grand success. An event of this kind requires the coordination of a committed team. Thank you to the ISB team for making Avenir 2022 #DiscoverU possible.
Little progress each day adds up to big results. With these uplifting words, I, Nupur Bhatia,
and I, Belinda Mascarenas,
wish you all a glorious day ahead. But before we sign off, let me remind you of the upcoming sessions. The upcoming sessions are opportunities for students after 12th science stream. You can provide your feedbacks on the Avenir website, which is www.aveniroman.com. Every attendee who submits the feedback form will receive a digital certificate. See you in the next session. Stay tuned and stay safe. There's a little refreshment arranged for the students. They can please exit from the back door and collect your refreshments.
you.